East matchup. South Carolina, the talk of college football 2 weeks ago, but now the Gamecocks trying to rebound from a 2-game skid. Meanwhile, Tennessee trying to avoid its third straight year, starting 0-5 in conference play. Where we're situated in Columbia, not impacted directly by the storm. It is windy, but no rain expected today. Overcast skies, temperature around 70. South Carolina won the toss and deferred, so Tennessee will start on offense. And with the way they've struggled offensively the last few weeks, they could use a big play on special teams from one of the best return men in college football, Cordarrelle Patterson, who has a kick return for a touchdown this year.
Yeah, that's a big question coming into this game, whether Steve Spurrier and the South Carolina team elects to kick the ball to Patterson. He'll be in punt returns and kick returns. We're going to find out on this first kickoff.
South Carolina back home after consecutive losses at LSU and a disaster at Florida a week ago. And they'll kick it away from him through the end zone, so it comes out to the 25. One of the reasons for Tennessee's struggles of late, Tyler Bray has not played well in league games, and the volunteer coaches, Brian, told us yesterday if he doesn't play well early, he may get pulled.
Yeah, he needs to play well, but he also just needs to protect the football. That's been his biggest problem. In their 4 losses in SEC play, he's been responsible for 8 turnovers. That combined with a porous defense has been the downfall so far for Tennessee.
And he doesn't have a starting running back. Rajon Neal is out for the 2nd straight week with an ankle injury. Marlon Lane making his 2nd straight start. And Bray on first down. In rhythm has a completion at the 30-yard line to Justin Hunter. 40th catch. He's had some drops this year, but Hunter able to hang on there.
Very important in the first quarter for Tennessee to get a rhythm going. You see they're going with a no-huddle, up-tempo style, get their quarterback in rhythm.
They'll hand it off to Lane, and he's grabbed at the ankles and brought down after a gain of 1 by Byron Jurido. We've got a terrific defensive line here at South Carolina, including Jadeveon Clowney, of course, might be the best defensive player in all of college football.
Yeah, this defense has been solid despite the fact they've lost the last 2 weeks. They played very well on the road at LSU and again against Florida. 3 turnovers in the 2nd quarter really put this defense behind the 8 ball.
Bray, long throw, and it's dropped. It was definitely catchable. Patterson couldn't hang on to it, though. That's been a problem for the Tennessee wide receivers. It'll be a punt.
This is a play Tyler Bray should make. It's an easy throw, open, conversion on 3rd down. Ball just comes up short. Patterson can make that play, but an accurate throw would have netted a 1st down for Tennessee and got them rolling.
So Polardi will punt after a 3-and-out, and Ace Sanders is deep for South Carolina. And Sanders lets it bounce. That got caught up in the wind and then takes a Tennessee hop inside the 20-yard line. Dave Pasch alongside Brian Griese. All the talk this week about the future of Derek Dooley. He is yet to beat a ranked team. 0-14 in his tenure. Is in his 3rd year now at Tennessee. How important is this particular game for him? After this, they do not play any more ranked teams.
It's critical, and it's been a rough road for Tennessee. They've lost to 4 teams that were ranked in the top 15. But this is a huge game for him, and he knows it. His players know it. I think for them to come out, they've got to protect the football, and they've got to get at least good defense. Doesn't have to be great defense, but it needs to be better than it's been in the past if they're going to win on the road.
South Carolina coaches told us they were going to run Marcus Lattimore a lot today. He picks up about a yard there, brought down by Herman Lathers. And one of the reasons why they really want to feed Lattimore is the struggles passing of Connor Shaw, and sometimes neglecting not to pass, but to unnecessarily get out of the pocket and take off.
He's been visibly shaken in the last 2 games. Now he's played 2 really good defenses on the road in LSU and Florida, so it's not surprising that a young quarterback has gotten a little bit shaken.
2nd and 9, and Shaw will roll out and throw, and it's complete to Sanders. and Sanders out of bounds at the 42-yard line against the Tennessee defense, last in just about every category.
It's a design rollout, two-man route, not reading the defense, just get outside. Sanders makes a nice move to get open on the outside, a good safe throw to get your quarterback into a rhythm, one that's had confidence issues in the last 2 weeks. A good call from Steve Spurrier. 23 yards in the pass play. And back to Lattimore. Only had 3 carries last week, bothered by a hip injury. Byron Moore in the tackle. Our impact player is brought to you by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. Big question, is Marcus Lattimore healthy? He's been dealing with that hip, coming off the knee. He's going to get a lot of opportunities. We just saw Ace Sanders. He needs to make some plays. And then obviously Jadeveon Clowney going against an offense in Tennessee that makes their living throwing the football. He has got to get to Tyler Bray today and prevent some of those big plays for those big play wide receivers.
They put Cunningham in the backfield at tight end at fullback. And Lattimore gets a great block. And Lattimore with the first down. Dragged down in the open field at the 45-yard line in Tennessee territory.
Well, that's your answer to whether he's healthy or not. Take a look at the full speed cut. That's the big question mark. Can he cut full speed? Take a look at him in the hole. The knee's healthy right there. Get into the hole and then up, and then the speed of Lattimore on the second level. It's going to be a challenge for Tennessee to catch Lattimore today.
Got a nice block, too, from Cunningham, cutting a defender. And then Corey Robinson, the left tackle, also out there blocking. First down, Gamecocks. It's Lattimore again on the perimeter. That's where the Tennessee coaches said they don't want Lattimore. And the play made there after a gain of about 1. A.J. Johnson, their leading tackler, leads the SEC and stops, makes the play.
But I think that Tennessee defensively would prefer to see Marcus Lattimore go lateral rather than downhill. When he gets a downhill power, A-gap to A-gap cuts, he is a dangerous back. If he's going lateral, I think Tennessee feels pretty good about stringing him out.
He's also the leading receiver, so they'll get him involved in the passing game as well today. He got just 1 yard there. And now Shaw looking for Lattimore right on cue. But good defense as Tennessee flies to the football at the 40-yard line after a 4-yard gain. Jordan Williams, a defensive end, leading the charge. So third down coming up for South Carolina.
This is a Tennessee defense that has struggled all year. It's a new scheme, new coaching staff with Sal Sunseri coming over from Alabama. They've played a lot of young players. Williams has been playing, and now he's going off a little bit hurt. They don't have a whole lot of depth, but this is a very confusing defense, and sometimes they've been out of position. Today, they've got to prevent those big plays that come from not knowing their assignments.
Jaquez Smith, as you look at Sunseri, is a guy they feel can rush the passer. He is coming in now to replace Williams. He does have a sack. Third down and 5, and Shaw. And Tennessee does a great job again getting to the football. You had Eric Gordon, the corner, crashing. Fourth down and 3. You're out of field goal range. Do you punt and try to pin Tennessee deep, or do you go for it?
Knowing Steve Spurrier, they've lost their last 2 games. First drive of the ball game, it's in that gray area, 35 to 40-yard line. He's going to make a decision to go for it here, but he's got to put the ball in the hands of his quarterback because there's nobody else in the backfield.
Fourth down and 4. Shaw with time. It's tipped and caught for a first down by Sanders. Got deflected at the line of scrimmage, and Sanders with good concentration.
Sentimore got a hand on it there, and then Sanders just stayed with it. It was wide open on the inside slant. There's the tip.
And looked like he completed the catch and had possession, so it is a first down for South Carolina. Sanders with his 20th catch of the season. Tennessee was late getting a 12th defender off, but no penalty marker as Shaw's hit. Gets out of there and gets rid of it complete inside the 30-yard line. Ellington not picked up, and he'll score. Touchdown, South Carolina. Well, for a guy that's had his confidence shaken in Connor Shaw, he's hung in there in this opening drive and made some plays. Found Ellington a 33-yard touchdown.
Well, I can't tell you how much that does for a quarterback's confidence. Steve Spurrier calling the pass play on 4th down for him converting it. Then first down pass play, wanted to go downfield, makes an adjustment, makes a guy miss, keeps his eyes up and flips it out for a big play.
9-play, 81-yard drive. 3rd touchdown catch of the season for Ellington. And the point after by Yates. So more of the same for Tennessee. A 3-and-out on offense, and then they give up 81 yards on defense. 33 on this play. Catch and run for Ellington. South Carolina with the early lead. Back in Columbia, South Carolina, where they're glad to see their team. Hadn't been home in almost a month, on the road the last few weeks. But they welcome the home crowd back with an opening drive touchdown. Connor Shaw's 10th touchdown pass of the year. He was perfect on that drive, 4 of 4, 64 yards. And the wind problematic here, blowing the ball off the tee for Yates. South Carolina's won 8 straight at home. They didn't get a chance at a return on the opening kickoff. Let's see what happens here. And again, a deep kickoff, and Patterson will take a knee. It will come out to the 25 again for the Vols.
The last 2 weeks, Connor Shaw has been rattled, and he's struggled keeping his eyes downfield. Take a look. They wanted to get the ball to Justice Cunningham, the tight end, on a seam route. Take a look. Freeze it right there, guys. He's covered down here. Connor Shaw wants to throw the football. He's not there. So what does he do? He breaks a tackle, keeps his eyes downfield, finds the check down to Ellington, and Ellington does the rest. Good progression and growth from Connor Shaw in keeping his eyes downfield.
On first down, Tennessee will run it. Marlon Lane finds a hole and gets close to the first down. Brought down by Victor Hampton. Brian, how much do you think Steve Spurrier giving his quarterback a vote of confidence, saying, I'm not going to pull you this week, this is your game, has helped? Get your thoughts after they go hurry up here on 2nd and short and try to get the first down with Lane. It looks like he has it across the 35.
I don't think there's any question that Steve Spurrier giving some confidence to his quarterback during the week helps. But more than anything else, your actions speak louder than your words. Going forward on 4th and 4 and allowing your quarterback to throw out of an empty set, that speaks to me more than saying, hey, I'm not going to pull it.
Quick throw. It's pulled in by Hunter, and he can't get away from Jimmy Legree. At the 41, he's brought down. 6-yard gain. Tennessee coaches said they're going to go with a quick game, and they didn't mean no huddle in that sense. They meant the quick passing game, and we're seeing it early.
Yeah, they don't want to be taking 7 steps trying to block Clowney and Taylor off the edges. It'll be a tough way to make a living on a consistent basis.
And Clowney's not in there now as they run it straight ahead. And dragging the defender with him is Marlon Lane. DJ Swearinger hanging on. And Tennessee moving the football. They've been able to do that this year. But can they finish drives and get points?
This is a very talented offense. And they've got a quarterback that has a little enigmatic to him. But this is a quality offense with a big part that I'm impressed with this offensive line.
They've only given up 3 sacks. Bray looking downfield. Well overthrown. Not on the same page perhaps with Patterson. That's been a reoccurring theme with quarterback and wide receivers. So it's 2nd down and 10.
One of the things to keep an eye on for South Carolina, they wanted to play nickel defense to the 3 wide receiver sets for Tennessee. Yesterday, Akeem Auguste had a groin injury, so he's not available for this game. As you see Clowney getting another tape job. But how does that affect their ability to cover 3 wide receivers who are very talented? They're going to have to use their safeties and linebackers, Devontae Holloman, to try to cover Zach Rogers in the slot.
Clowney has been bothered by a foot injury. 2nd and 10, Bray. And it's complete inside the 40-yard line. Jacob Carter, just his 5th catch of the year. That's the Tyler Bray that gives people so much optimism about his future.
What a catch by Carter. Wow. I mean, you go up and you get upended. Guy comes out and hits on your knee. You keep possession of that football. Great play.
finds a running lane inside the 35 and down to the 32 for 4.
Well, no Cordarrelle Patterson, no Justin Hunter. Just put in Jacob Carter, and he's going to make a play for you. Zach Rogers, Vincent Dallas, some of these guys, these receivers that we don't talk a whole lot about on Tennessee, the backups, they can play too.
Bray to the air again. The quick passing game, and wide open is Rogers down the sideline. Rogers was running free. No defender around him, and he takes it inside the 10. It'll be 1st and goal for the Vols.
Very creative set from Jim Chaney, offensive coordinator for Tennessee. They put the wide receiver Rogers in the backfield. He's one of the quickest players on the Tennessee team, and South Carolina didn't recognize it and just lost him in the flat.
Back to Lane. And into a wall of Gamecocks at the 8-yard line. A minimal gain there. Aldrick Fordham there for South Carolina. 2nd and goal for Tennessee.
This is where you're going to miss Rajon Neal inside the 10-yard line. He's a powerful back. And Marlon Lane not quite as big or physical. And it's very difficult to throw the football down here because the lanes are constricted.
They go with the fullback Bartholomew and 2 tight ends. 10th play of the drive. And Bray pumps wide open in the end zone. Beautiful pump fake by the quarterback. Zach Rogers got free from the defender. Easy touchdown for Tennessee.
That's a big answer for the Volunteers. You give up a 4th down conversion and a touchdown, and you come right back and answer. Tyler Bray, this was an easy pitch and catch. Zach Rogers has great feet. We call that a shake route, and he ran it to perfection.
Well, you talked about this guy in your film study. You thought that he was a guy to keep an eye on. And he makes a big play here. Granted, Clowney wasn't in the game to help rush the passer for South Carolina, but Tennessee with that quick passing game, and it's hard to get upfield if you're a defensive lineman.
This is a slant and go. The slant, there you see, comes back out. Perfectly executed route. Zach Rogers, big play for the Volunteers.
An enormous response by Tennessee. 10-play, 75-yard scoring drive. They went with the hurry-up, and Tyler Bray had a solid drive. An 8-yard touchdown pass to Rogers to tie the game at 7.
The emotion of the Volunteer team is going to be critical to watch today. If things start to go well or they start to go bad, how do they respond? And that's a good sign for Volunteer fans, at least with respect to this game.
Tennessee coming off a 44-13 loss to Alabama a week ago. Short kickoff. Ellington muffs it. He had trouble on kickoffs last week, able to keep possession out to the 23. Reese Davis now in the studio. Hello.
Latavius Sapp for Tennessee on the tackle. Gamecock will have first and 10, starting at the 23-yard line.
And a lot of important games in the Legends division today, including Michigan, Nebraska tonight.
Yep.
We got Penn State, Ohio State on ESPN at 5:30. Of course, even though those are probably the 2 best teams in the Big Ten, that neither can play for the Big Ten championship, and neither can be in the BCS standings. Both probably would be. Certainly Ohio State would be in the top 10. Here's Lattimore dragged down for a loss by big Daniel McCullers at 6'8", 380. Let's get the latest on Clowney from Jen.
Thanks, David. We saw him go out in that last series. He came over to the sidelines. Remember, he has a sprain in his right foot. He's wearing a custom orthotic that is giving support to his medial arch. Well, it didn't feel right, so he came over to the sidelines, had the trainers take it out, readjust it, and tape him back up, but he will be going back in.
Well, that's bad news for Tennessee. They'd love to see him on the sideline. Shaw, a wide receiver screen, and Ellington brought down at the 20. Another negative play. A loss of 1. Couch and Lathers teaming up on the tackle for Tennessee.
Oh, now Ellington comes up a little bit gimpy. It's not a good sign because Marcus Lattimore, while they want to feature him in this game, they don't want to overload him coming off of an injury, both the knee and the hip. So Ellington being a little gimpy would be a big blow.
And he's their return guy on kickoffs. Third down, 13. Shaw in an empty set with time to throw. Wide open in the middle of the field. It's a first down. Rory Anderson all the way to the 45-yard line, a 25-yard pass play.
Steve Spurrier's excited about Rory Anderson. Look at him get downfield from the tight end position. That's a perfectly thrown ball. Just an inside bender route. That's what we call it when you bend the tight end into the middle of the field against a two-deep defense. A good read from Connor Shaw and a big execution.
It's got to be frustrating for Tennessee. You get negative plays on defense first and second down, then it looks so easy on third down and long.
That's what it's been like all year for Tennessee. Big plays have killed it.
Lattimore cuts it upfield near the 50 before Byron Moore makes the tackle. So about 5 on the ground for Lattimore, who's over 600 rushing yards on the season.
And the big plays come on defense when you struggle getting to the quarterback. When the quarterback has too much time to survey the field, that's when big plays happen. And when you're young on defense and you're trying to implement a new scheme and guys are out of position, all it takes is 2 or 3 plays. That's what happened last week against Alabama.
Tennessee brings the extra man in the box. You see, looking to blitz off the near side, and he's able to get to the quarterback. Daryl McNeil, the true freshman, coming down, got in there and tripped up Connor Shaw on the run. No gain, so it'll be third down. You see Tennessee's record and horrible defensive numbers, including the turnovers in league action. There ain't going to be anybody doing that, especially the best teams in the country, which are the SEC.
And Sal Sinceri, as many people know, came from Alabama. That's the style of defense they're trying to employ. It's not a question of whether the defense works. We know how Alabama plays. It's just the personnel and the scheme.
Here comes a reverse to Sanders, and he's got nowhere to run. Tennessee read it well. Byron Moore pushed him out, and it's fourth down. We'll see if South Carolina punts it this time. It's 4th and 6. And they will kick it away.
Well, that was well played there. Discipline has been the key in this team getting better defensively. And Byron Moore stayed on his side, stretched out Ace Sanders, who is a very dangerous punt returner and reverse runner. So very well played by Tennessee.
Did you see Senimore? He thought he had Sanders coming around. He got turned around in a heartbeat, thought he had him, but
Senimore's got too many LBs to catch Ace Sanders.
But he had 2 guys behind him who were guarding the boundary. They kick it away from Devin Young, and it goes out of bounds inside the 15. Good job by the punter, Tyler Hull. We are tied at 7, late first quarter in Columbia.
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow.
Presented by Cars.com. It's the Tennessee Volunteers and number 13, South Carolina. We'll move to further action right after these messages.
Fresh is better.
Darius Rucker, now a country singer, formerly of Hootie and the Blowfish. He was the celebrity picker for game day when they were here a few weeks ago. As Bray gets hit as he throws, incomplete. He got drilled as he released it, trying to hit Zach Rogers.
We were talking with Lorenzo Ward, a defensive coordinator for South Carolina. He said he wanted to get some pressure early on Tyler Bray, make him feel his defensive line. He felt that, and an inaccurate throw on the outside.
And J.T. Surratt helped. By the way, Clowney is out there for South Carolina. 2nd and 10 for Tennessee from its 13-yard line. And Bray gets rid of it just as Clowney gets near him. He was trying to hit Pig Howard. So third down and the rush becoming a factor for South Carolina.
You can't have a back block Jadeveon Clowney one-on-one. Marlon Lane does the best he can, but that is bad scheme. That's not on the players. You cannot ask one guy, much less a back, to block him.
Here's Bray on 3rd and 10. And into traffic, it is caught for a first down to Justin Hunter. It's a big play on 3rd down and long. As Tyler Bray looks good so far here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, you have any questions about the confidence of Tyler Bray? He gets hit on the first play. Second play, you got to throw it away because of pressure. On 3rd down and 10, he stands in there and fires a first down to Justin Hunter.
And here comes an end around the Pig Howard. And he gets tripped up. 27-yard line gain of 2. We'll see a lot of trickery from the offense. They'll line up Howard sometimes as a Wildcat quarterback. They'll also do that with A.J. Johnson, middle linebacker, the leading tackler. They'll bring him in on goal line and short yardage situations and have him as the Wildcat. Here's Bray on 2nd and 8, stepping up, throwing complete, and Howard gets drilled by Bryson Williams. He's at the 31-yard line. 3rd down and 3 coming up.
I think if Tennessee is going to win this game, they're going to have to incorporate some of the running game. They depend mostly on the pass, but they've got to take some pressure off of Tyler Bray and these receivers to win.
3rd and 4. And Bray to the air. Has time and a strike. Caught for a 1st down by Hunter at the 43-yard line. That O-line giving Bray time, and Bray found Justin Hunter. Went upstairs to make a nice catch.
It's an important conversion from Bray to Hunter. They have been a dynamic duo, but of late there's been stress there. Hunter has dropped some balls. There's been some questioning confidence that Bray has in his young receiver, but a big catch.
Here's Lane straight ahead, brought down by Clowney, but downfield by after a gain of 3. Boy, in that 3rd down play, they had Antonio Richardson, the left tackle, one-on-one with Clowney. Did a good job on him, Brian.
Absolutely. There's no question that they feel comfortable with Richardson blocking one-on-one on Clowney. They're not going to do that exclusively all game. They're going to help him, but they're not afraid of a one-on-one.
On 2nd and 7, cutting it outside is Devrin Young, and he gets a couple yards. Girardeau on the tackle. Another key 3rd down here for Tennessee.
You can see them trying to establish the running game. 2 runs on 1st and 2nd down brings up the third down conversion that they need to get on this drive, but they need to get more production on those 1st and 2nd down runs.
South Carolina showing blitz, and got a whistle and a penalty flag. First penalty marker of the game.
Prior to the snap, false start, 85, offense, 5-yard penalty remains, 3rd down.
Brendan Downs, so instead of 3rd down and 5, you're 3rd and 10 as you look at Derek Dooley, who, by the way, is just going with 1 crutch this week. Had hip surgery less than 3 weeks ago. He was upstairs for 1 game, and last week on the sideline with 2 crutches, so he's just going to go with a cane today. 3rd down and 10. Bray through the hands of Hunter. Catchable pass, and again Bray had time to throw. Hunter made some good grabs on that drive, but couldn't come up with a play there.
Timing is so important in the passing game. When the ball gets there and when the receiver gets his head around, that ball is on time. Hunter with a little move at the end of that route, you've got to make that play for your quarterback. Even though that ball gets on you quick, you know that this is a deadly pass rush and that ball's got to come out. Get your head around, make that play.
Pilati off the side of his foot. South Carolina will have excellent starting field position.
Wow. The emotions of a young team like this.
Boy, the Gamecocks will have it right around midfield. It's like a 10-yard punt.
Margin of error is so thin for Tennessee. You can't have those kinds of mistakes, especially in special teams.
6-yard punt by Tennessee. It's number 13 South Carolina and Tennessee due to time constraints. We move ahead to further action. Now somebody might hear 2, but Tennessee letting South Carolina drive down the field again. Shaw rolling out, long throw, and out of bounds was Ace Sanders. So incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Prentice Wagner on the coverage rather.
We've seen 2 of these kinds of design rollout plays from Steve Spurrier for his quarterback. 2-man routes, very easy read. If the play is not there, just throw it out of bounds or run. But I go back to that fumble. Connor Shaw was doing what he was been coached to do all week, which was don't just run, try to throw the ball. He got caught in no man's land and fumbled. He got away with the potentially game-changing fumble.
Last incompletion on the previous down was his first miss of the game. Play clock down to 3. Shaw throws it up into the end zone and throw it away. He sensed pressure. Eric Gordon and Willie Bohannon were coming, and Shaw got rid of it. Now he was in the pocket. He threw it to nobody.
Yep.
Shouldn't that be grounding?
Should be grounding. Absolutely. Take a look. They're going to bring everybody in. It's a 0 blitz. Connor Shaw expecting somebody to be in the middle of the field, but he breaks to the corner, and there's nobody left, and that should be a grounding penalty.
By definition, that is intentional grounding.
Yes, that's what happened. Remember Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Everybody remembers that play, and I think he was expecting somebody to go to the post, and he went to the flag, and I think they may have a conversation about it.
Resetting the play clock. And we got a timeout as well. So 3rd and 10 coming up for South Carolina. The questionable call on the horse collar, and then the no call on what certainly appeared to be grounding.
If I'm Derek Dooley, I'm going to have a conversation with Tom Ritter right now to tell him, hey, shouldn't that be a penalty?
You can't review it. You just have to make a decision as a
at least have a conversation.
Unit. And, you know, the officials are wearing mics. This crew is wearing mics, so they can talk to each other and discuss it over through their microphones and the earpieces. I'm sure they did, but no grounding was called. Derek Dooley, Tennessee head coach, arguing with referee Tom Ritter, telling him there should have been intentional grounding on Connor Shaw's pass to no one on 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, take a look. They run 2 corner routes on the outside, and there's nobody left in the middle of the field, and Connor Shaw's under pressure, so he just dumps it, and that should be called intentional grounding, which would bring up a 3rd and 20 rather than 3rd and 10.
Kenny Miles in for Lattimore at tailback. And they got Cunningham back there as well. Behind Shaw. Shaw to throw with time. Dumps it off to Cunningham. Muscles his way close to the 1st down. Carrying defenders to the 10. We'll see where they spot it. A.J. Johnson was the first man to greet the receiver Cunningham, but he couldn't make the tackle. And he's short, so it's 4th down, and it looks like Steve Spurrier is going to go for it.
Brings up 4th and 1 for the Gamecocks on the.
He already converted on 4th down in the 1st quarter, and it led to a touchdown. They line up in shotgun. Might see option here on 4th down and 1. Shaw diving and appears to have the 1st down.
Steve Spurrier's thrown the conservative section of the game plan out, putting 4th and 1, not giving it to Lattimore, but actually running a naked. He wanted to throw that football, but a decision by Connor Shaw, and once he makes that decision to get 1 yard, he's pretty good at doing so.
Now they are measuring, and it looked like he got it, but they're going to check it out to be sure. So it is a 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal. Inside the 9. They're 2 for 2 on 4th down in the 1st half.
Now, if you're Tennessee, you've got to find a way to rise up on the defensive side and at least force a field goal attempt. You had a questionable horse collar call. Then you had a missed call on an intentional grounding, and now they're inside the 10-yard line with a 1st down, and Derek Dooley needs some leadership. A.J. Johnson, their middle linebacker, number 45, is the one they need it from.
Shaw will give it to Lattimore, but there's no running room. The front 4 of Tennessee getting after it, led by McCullers, who you said was the biggest football player you've ever seen.
In college or pro, 6'7", 377 pounds. They call him Great Smoky Mountain for good reason.
You remember John Henderson played here, and he was one of the bigger players.
I played against John Henderson, but he's bigger.
Yes, I agree. 2nd and goal. There's some movement on the right side of the line for South Carolina. Brandon Shell jumped. Nephew of Hall of Famer Art Shell. And Tennessee came across as well.
False start. Number 55, the center with a head bob. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
It's on T.J. Johnson, who's making a school record 49th consecutive start at center. And the official telling him there exactly what he did. That has been a point of emphasis. Officials are looking for that from the center to try to deceive the defense.
Veteran centers like T.J. Johnson try to get every trick they can, and I think they caught him on that one.
South Carolina, the least penalized team, only 34th used in the SEC coming into today. Shaw on 2nd and goal with time. Everybody covered. Now Shaw in trouble and goes down. Kurt Magid gets back there. It'll be 3rd and goal from the 26 after a 13-yard loss.
Good job by Magid. He's going to run it here, guys. Let's take a look. Trying to get the ball down the field. Things were covered, and Magid just keeps coming. Gets around Shell, and a big stop for Tennessee.
So 3rd and goal from the 26-yard line. They've had some problems with the field goal unit. It would be about a 44-yard attempt if they can't move the ball out of an empty set. Shaw down the middle of the field. Caught. Touchdown. Rory Anderson.
Second big play for Rory Anderson. Steve Spurrier is excited about this young tight end. 6'5", 220 pounds, and he can run. And you saw his hands on that play. Big play for South Carolina, and another dagger for Tennessee on defense. You great position, and you give up another big play.
Yeah, 3rd down defense has been awful so far in this game for Tennessee. That was 3rd and goal at the 26, and they gave up a touchdown. The extra point by Yates. And Connor Shaw on target today. 9 of 11, 142 yards and 2 touchdown passes. This one to Rory Anderson, his 5th receiving touchdown of the year.
There's questions of whether Connor Shaw would pull the trigger. So far in this game, he's been right on the target.
Not again! The power went out! It's hard to see with that old weak flashlight, and if it doesn't come on soon, you're stuck holding it all night. You need the old Brooklyn Lantern, the vintage-style lantern with new LED technology. The old Brooklyn Lantern provides a brighter, whiter light that fills the whole room. So don't keep a bunch of old flashlights in a drawer. They never work when you need them. But the old Brooklyn Lantern has 9 ultra-bright LED bulbs that shine for 100,000 hours. That's right, 100,000 hours. So if the power goes out, you're always ready. The old Brooklyn Lantern lasts night after night after night. And look, those ordinary flashlights just shine a narrow beam. But the old Brooklyn Lantern lights a whole room. Just look at the difference. And the built-in dimmer switch adjusts from a low, gentle glow to a super bright light. Perfect for that party on the patio, or light up the campsite, on the road, in the RV, or anywhere you need to see. Keep one in the house, and you're always ready for any emergency. Or take it with you wherever you go. The old Brooklyn Lantern has the power to light up the night. Made of genuine metal with an authentic antique dome. It's guaranteed or your money back. Call and get your old Brooklyn Lantern with LED technology that'll last 100,000 hours. Now just $12.99. But wait! Call right now and you can double your order. That's 2 old Brooklyn Lanterns for $12.99. It's an amazing deal. And call right now and find out about free shipping.
Call 1-800-504-0156 and pick up your old Brooklyn Lantern. But hurry, we're giving away a special offer on a second lantern with today's orders. So call 1-800-504-0156 and find out about free shipping. That's 1-800-504-0156. Call now.
Another big play given up by the Tennessee Volunteers. Part execution, part scheme. Take a look. Just 2 vertical routes down the field, and Byron Moore is the one that's responsible for making this play. You got to put pressure downfield. Byron Moore's got to get there and make that play. Even if you get him on the ground inside the 5, you force a field goal attempt. But it's also part scheme. Sal Sunseri, I don't understand why you play a single safety defense when you know that Carolina's got to attack the end zone.
Well, this is why Tennessee fans have been upset with the hire of Sal Sunseri, and one of the things that could end up costing Derek Dooley his job. Made a decision to go with Sunseri, who was a linebackers coach at Alabama, a new defense as they're kicking it away from Patterson, kicked it out of bounds. So that's going to give Tennessee excellent field position. 14-7 Gamecocks. Here's Reese in the studio. All right, here it's 14-7, Reese, and Tennessee getting good field position after the kickoff sailed out of bounds. First down for the Vols on their 35-yard line.
Well, Tennessee came up with an answer to the first touchdown from South Carolina. Can they do it again?
Lane spun down at the point of attack. J.T. Surratt starting with Kelsey Quarles out again because of his shoulder injury. That's the second time he's made a play at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Surratt has an opportunity. Quarles out. Next man up. This defense depends on pressure from their front 4. And so far he's made 2 outstanding plays.
Here comes an end around. Patterson. They get it in his hands out in space, and he's dangerous. Stepped out just shy of the first down. Patterson has 2 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns, and a kick return for a score on the season.
Anytime he gets the ball in his hands with any kind of space around him, he's very dangerous. His straightaway speed is really what separates him. He's a good receiver, not a great receiver because of some of the intangibles of route running and catching the football.
There's 3rd and 1. They were going to give it to Lane, but got a stoppage of play here.
Prior to the snap, false start. 71 offense. 5-yard penalty remains. 3rd down.
Dallas Thomas, that's the second time they've been in 3rd and 5 or less and had a 5-yard penalty to back them up. Well, Thomas, the left guard, an offensive line that has been the strength of this Tennessee team. If there's been a strength, it's them.
In these areas, 3rd down 5, 3rd and 6, they love to get the football to Zach Rogers and Michael Rivera. Both of them down here at the bottom of your screen. They are the 3rd down targets for Tyler Bray.
You need to get just past the 45. Bray with a short throw, and that's got no chance. Lane will lose yardage on the play. Victor Hampton on the tackle, in Tennessee will punt.
Now he's working that side of the field with Rivera and Rogers, and didn't like the way that Rivera looked on the snag route. I felt like he could have banged it to him for a first down, but decided to swing it out, and good defense and pursuit by South Carolina.
Tennessee's O-line did a good job on South Carolina's D-line. You had Richardson one-on-one with Clowney handling him. But Bray went for the check down when he needed 5 yards. Another punt that goes out of bounds. And Polardi having some trouble with the kicks. Had an 11-yard punt earlier in the game. This one will be spotted at the 36-yard line by the field judge.
I understand Ace Sanders is a dangerous returner, but you got to kick the football.
25-yard punt there.
This week's ball allows all-stars.
You are terrible.
I can't see.
Oh, turn up the brightness.
It's already up.
Sorry, buddy. You know, some of us destroy zombies and some of us feed them.
How am I supposed to win? Your screen is like as big as my phone.
Not everything's about winning.
I like to win.
You like to whine.
Buy any Samsung Galaxy handset, get up to $100 off a second Galaxy handset of the same or lesser price, exclusively at AT&T.
Stupid, slow, dirty PC.
You know, you really should clean it up and speed it up at mycleanpc.com.
Is your computer running slow? What if you could fix it while you were online? Now you can. Just go to mycleanpc.com for your free diagnosis today. Then, just activate the MyCleanPC.com software to fix it in minutes. And computer specialists are available while you're online. Get rid of pop-ups and junk files. Boost your PC startup time. Even prevent annoying errors, screen freezes, and crashes.
The best thing about MyCleanPC.com was it had a free diagnosis.
You know immediately what the problem is, and the problem is solved right then and there.
My computer is 100% faster. My Clean PC works.
Download your free diagnosis today at MyCleanPC.com. That's MyCleanPC.com.
ESPN College Football. Brought to you by the Buick Verano. Unexpected luxury in a car this size. And Residence Inn. It's not a room, it's a residence.
Bonanza at the farmers market anticipating Halloween. You saw the guys on the set at game day dressing up as coaches. Brian told me he's going as Lloyd Carr this year. His coach at Michigan.
I just want one of those candy apples, man. I love those candy apples.
No Lloyd Carr impression for us? Put me on the spot here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Fowler nailed it. He stole the show on the Saban with the hand gestures.
That was good.
If you haven't seen that, you got to go back and check that out from game day earlier today. One of the best pieces this year. Here's Lattimore. Inside run, and he's got the first down. Gain of 11, brought down by Byron Moore. A life in the SEC, you know, is tough. 2 weeks ago, people talking national title maybe for South Carolina. After crushing Georgia, they lose a close one at LSU, then get blown out by Florida. Florida and Georgia meeting later today. If Florida wins, they wrap up the SEC East. South Carolina needs Georgia to win and some help. Lattimore again between the tackles and forced down to the ground at the 48-yard line after a gain of 5.
Yeah, two very difficult road tests for South Carolina, and the common denominator, they were in those games. The common denominator was the turnovers, a late turnover on the road at LSU that gave them the go-ahead points, and then the 3 turnovers in the second quarter on the road against Florida. You can't win any games, especially in the SEC on the road playing like that.
Quade Gilchrist, the 250-pound fullback, in front of Lattimore. He'll fake it to him, and Shaw going downfield, and a nice catch by Cunningham, who was wide open again against that Tennessee secondary. 20-yard gain, first down.
It's a different Connor Shaw that we've seen today. No hesitation, pulling the trigger. This is nice play action. Cunningham's just going to run the corner route. Had to throw it over a defender. Well played. Justice Cunningham is a big tight end, big target at 6'4", and he made some plays in the LSU game, but a good sign for Connor Shaw getting the football downfield.
From the Tennessee 28, 1st and 10. Gamecocks leading by a touchdown. Lattimore up the gut. Big hole! He gone! Touchdown, South Carolina! He got touched at the line of scrimmage. That pulled his jersey under his shoulder pad, but he wasn't touched after that.
It was a great block by the right guard, Ron Patrick, in the hole on a blitzing linebacker. And when you start throwing the ball on first down and you mix in the run, and all of a sudden you have that balance that they had in the Georgia game, this offense can be explosive.
4-play, 64-yard drive. Tennessee's already given up over 200 yards total offense.
Take a look at the block in the hole by Patrick on the linebacker, and when you give Marcus Lattimore any kind of room, he's going to make you pay.
Back in Columbia, you're watching the SEC on ESPN and ESPN 3D. Celebrating its 8th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets, Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kick. To date, Allstate has contributed more than $2.8 million in scholarship monies. South Carolina with 14 straight points to take a 21-7 lead A big play was a Tennessee takeaway that was negated because of a horse collar tackle on Connor Shaw. Then South Carolina had a 3rd and goal on the 26, and Tennessee gave up a touchdown. Short kickoff picked up by one of the up men, crossing the 30 and out near the 35-yard line. It was Ben Bartholomew on the carry. Big games as usual tonight on ESPN and ABC starting at 5:30. From State College, Penn State, Ohio State, followed by Notre Dame, Oklahoma on ABC, Mississippi State, Alabama on ESPN. You know, we talked about the near takeaway by Tennessee. How about in the Bama-Mississippi State game? Brian, they're a combined plus 31 in turnover ratio.
That's the reason why they're both undefeated. But Mississippi State, this is the first real challenge. I know they beat this Tennessee team at home, but to go on the road in Tuscaloosa, interesting to see.
Play off play action, going downfield, but overthrew the intended receiver Patterson. Incomplete.
Patterson's got great speed downfield, but there's been some issues with the timing between Patterson and Tyler Bray and Justin Hunter and Tyler Bray. Timing in the passing game is something that only comes over time and reps and practice. And Cordarrelle Patterson hasn't been at Tennessee very long. Got there right before the season started, so some of these plays show up on film.
He's a junior college transfer. Bray with an on-time throw there to Vincent Dallas. He'll come up a couple of yards short of the first down, 3rd and 2.
There's no reason to panic if you're Tennessee offensively. You've got plenty of firepower and talent and playmakers to get back in this football game. You're only down 2 touchdowns, so no need to panic. Just play your game, continue to execute.
But the coaches have said that's been a problem for Bray. A quick pitch here. Lane trying to find a hole, and he's wrapped up short of the first down. Brought down at the 45-yard line by Jeffrey. And Quinn Smith, 4th and 1. We'll see if Tennessee elects to go for it. 4th and about a half a yard, actually.
I think they're going to bring in their heavy package and attempt to go for it here.
Yeah, I just saw linebacker A.J. Johnson come out of the field.
Yep.
He'll run the Wildcat, and they'll spread out and send the quarterback Bray. You see him jogging to the bottom of your screen.
Johnson was a running back, played some in high school.
They bring Patterson in motion. Johnson takes off and has the first down. Well, plus the way the punter has been going, Pilardi, his last 2 punts, 11 and 25 yards. Looks like a good decision there to go for it on 4th down and a half yard.
Yeah, you can't afford to put your defense back on the field after giving up 3 quick touchdowns in big play fashion. That was an important conversion.
They pitch it to Patterson, and he hurdles a couple of guys. Brought down in South Carolina territory after a gain of 5. Demario Jeffrey and Byron Girardeau on the tackle. Again, they're just trying to get Patterson involved.
Get him the ball any way you can. And while his route running ability has been green and raw, there's nothing wrong with his ability to run straight ahead with that speed.
And a quick pitch again to Lane, and Clowney's got him, but missed the tackle. And he got positive yardage. Girardeau slammed him down.
Everybody talks about Jadeveon Clowney's ability to rush the passer. He's gotten better playing the run. Quick move off the ball, and then chase down a scat back. That's what has so many people excited about Jadeveon Clowney. Not just rushing the passer, but he's become more of a complete player.
Well, it's 3rd and 3 for Tennessee. Bray to throw, and it's caught for a first down by Vincent Dallas. And Tennessee moving the ball now inside the 40-yard line of South Carolina.
Looks like they're going to take Antonio Richardson, the left tackle, out of this ball game. Bring in a reserve. He's had a knee problem this week. He's done well so far on Clowney, but they bring in Alan Posey, his backup.
Oh boy, he's a freshman.
Yikes.
Redshirt freshman. Actually double team Clowney there, and Bray going downfield. End zone. Beautiful grab. Touchdown, Rogers. Brad Rogers with his 2nd touchdown of the ball game. 37 yards for Bray.
Quick strike offense. Plenty of time for Tyler Bray. He is very comfortable, probably most comfortable throwing the football to Zach Rogers, who he knows runs great routes and can separate. Wins in man-to-man coverage in the slot.
Velarde puts it through. A big play for Tyler Bray. It's a great throw. Again, this is why people are in love with Bray's arm talent. Threw it on the money. And Rogers, a guy that you pinpointed as a man to watch today, already 2 touchdown grabs. Carolina and Tennessee due to time constraints. We move ahead to further action. Lattimore wrapped up by Lathers, and the ball came out, but they're going to rule Lattimore down, and Lattimore is hurt.
Oh no.
Marcus Lattimore holding his right knee. It was his left knee that he injured last year about this time against Mississippi State. Tore his ACL. Missed the rest of the season, then had the hip injury a couple of weeks ago.
Oh no, you feel for players in this situation. They went low. He's such a physical player that a lot of people go low to tackle him, and his legs take a beating.
This
knee of Marcus Lattimore after on the carry he got hit low. Now you may want to turn away here. You're welcome to watch. It's not pretty. Lattimore with Lathers on top. You see number 24 in white, Gordon, come racing in, helmet on knee.
Yeah. Oh.
And again, last year it was the left knee, a torn ACL against Mississippi State that cost him the rest of the year. He worked so hard to come back from that injury and was having a terrific season. Was shaken up a couple weeks ago with the hip injury, but they're hoping that he was over that. And the coaches told us he's 100% good to go coming into today, but
these kinds
obviously a serious injury here.
Yeah, these kinds of things they make your heart sink. You know, for these kids, young kids that come out of high school and they're playing so hard. Obviously, Marcus Lattimore is one of the most talented players in all of college football. As you mentioned, to fight back from one knee injury last year, had some nicks this year, and to have this happen, it just makes you feel for him, for his family, for his future, quite frankly.
One of the more talented running backs in all of college football. 2 years ago as a freshman, people were talking as if he might be the best back in the country. Had 17 touchdowns and 1,200 yards as a frosh. And they've been working on him now for a good 5 minutes.
Well, they've got to get that immobilized, secured that knee.
How about a class move by Tennessee also? A lot of the defensive players for Tennessee coming over to check on Lattimore. They have so much respect for him, and he's a well-liked young man around the SEC.
Absolutely. I mean, they respect him as a football player, respect him as a man and a person. His entire team, they just elected him captain.
Right.
You know, they had 4 seniors that were elected captain, and Marcus Lattimore was the only non-senior elected as a captain just this week. So much respect from the entire team for Marcus Lattimore.
In fact, they were supposed to do that last week because they knew Lattimore was going to win. They said, let's go ahead and do it now. Let's vote now. They did, and Lattimore did win as the only non-senior captain, permanent captain, after they were going with alternate captains the previous 8 games.
Oh, and there's not a lot of players in college football that would get this kind of response, both from your team but also from the other team. And they know how hard he's worked. They know how emotional this time is for him. And so many questions now about Marcus Lattimore's future, and you just feel for the young man.
Some family members of Marcus from Duncan, South Carolina.
You can see so many of these players are visibly emotional. You know, this is one of your teammates, one of your brothers, that you love so much. Players from the other side are emotional. Fans in the stands are emotional. They know what Marcus means to this team. They know how hard he's worked. And it's hard to go back to the game after something like this happens for these players.
So how do the coaches handle this, especially Steve Spurrier, when it's your guy that has gone down, your leader, your best player?
Well, you can't avoid the emotion of this. I mean, it's not just losing your best player. This is your emotional leader. And you feel for him as a person and a player. There's no way around it. It's hard to go back to calling plays. It's hard to go back to executing on the field. But you've got to put it aside and say, Marcus would want us to go out and continue to fight and execute and win.
Standing ovation for Marcus Lattimore. Hopefully we'll see him run back out of that tunnel in the near future. So it's 3rd down and 8 for South Carolina. They lead Tennessee 21-14. The ball scored on their last possession. Tyler Bray, his 2nd touchdown pass, and now the Vols defense, which has struggled on 3rd down today, including giving up a 3rd down and goal from the 26 for a touchdown. Let's see if they're able to force a punt. And they go with an empty set. Kenny Miles, by the way, is Lattimore's replacement. He started last week. Lattimore was bothered by a hip problem. Shaw going deep, and it is incomplete along the sideline. No penalty flag. Was intended for freshman Shaq Rowland. Prentice Wagner was running with him.
Yeah, good coverage by Wagner. He's the most senior player in the secondary for Tennessee, and just man-to-man coverage. As a corner, you want to try to squeeze the receiver out of bounds without pushing him.
Shaq Rowland, Prentice Wagner was running with him.
Yeah, good coverage by Wagner. He's the most senior player in the secondary for Tennessee, and just man-to-man coverage. As a corner, you want to try to squeeze the receiver out of bounds without pushing him out of bounds. You want to try to cut him off, and it was well done by Wagner.
Tyler Hull will punt. Young is the deep man. And Young steps out at the 35. NASCAR's Chase hits the home stretch with Brad Keselowski leading the way, and the trophy still up for grabs. Only 4 races left to decide the championship. Jimmy Johnson and Denny Hamlin look to make up ground. The NASCAR Chase at Martinsville, where Jimmy Johnson's on the pole. He's won it 6 times. Starts tomorrow, 1 o'clock on ESPN. So Tennessee with all of its timeouts, 4 minutes to go in the half, and their quarterback Tyler Bray with a lot of confidence. Can he take him down and tie the game before intermission? Bray will throw, and the short pass caught by Rivera, the tight end. The ball comes out. No signal yet whether it's an incompletion or a catch and a fumble. Rivera did get it back, so it is ruled a completion. Or maybe they're just saying he was down. Point is he caught it, and it's a gain of a handful. Clowney not on the field right now on the defensive line for South Carolina. He's having an orthotic issue earlier in the game. Low pass that's broken up there on 2nd down by Legree, intended for Patterson, so it's 3rd down and long.
Yeah, and Clowney and Taylor will come out on the field now. It seems like there's a concerted effort to limit the number of plays that Jadeveon is playing in this game. I don't know if that's a product of the foot injury or not, but certainly Steve Spurrier and Lorenzo Ward are trying to manage the number of plays.
Tyler Bray on 3rd down, 4 of 6 passing. 3 of those have gone for 1st down. They have to get to the 45. And Clowney lined up over the ball. Bray throws incomplete, trying for Rivera. The pass was high. And now South Carolina gets it back with 2 timeouts and 3:37 on the clock.
Well, missed opportunity for Tyler Bray. Michael Rivera comes underneath. He's open. Ball's just thrown inaccurate. That would have been an easy completion and 1st down for Tennessee, and then you would have been into the 2-minute drill. And these are the kinds of throws, the kinds of lack of execution that have driven Derek Dooley mad on the sideline with Tyler Bray.
Now Polardi had a rough day so far punting the football. This is a good one though. And Sanders with a dangerous play. They're catching it over his shoulder, trying to get outside. He's got the corner. And then ran out of play at the 34-yard line. How will South Carolina rebound after losing their best player? Remember last year against Mississippi State, Lattimore was blocking downfield, ended up tearing an ACL in his left knee. Then today, a defender, Eric Gordon, comes in low, gets the right knee of Lattimore, and he's carted off.
Oh. You know, if there's any player that can come back from something like that, it would be a kid like Marcus Lattimore. I think back to Willis McGahee and that injury that he had as a member of the Miami Hurricanes, and he came back and had a long career in the National Football League. So hopefully this will work out for Marcus.
Shaw on the rollout. Another wide open receiver. It's Ellington. First down. Let's check in with Reese.
Ellington on the reception. It's another Carolina. First and 10 at the 49, Gamecocks.
Reese, a wide receiver screen to Ellington, and Ace Sanders with a great block to spring Ellington. And he's inside the 35-yard line. Still plenty of time on the clock.
I think South Carolina is just running their offense. I don't even think they're in the 2-minute drill. They're not in a hurry. They've been in this kind of NASCAR up-tempo mode all game. But with Lattimore out, I think you're going to see more throwing from Connor Shaw.
Kenny Miles gets the carry, and Miles to the outside. There's a flag down. Miles inside the 10, wrestled out of bounds by Byron Moore. But this one's coming back. Well, Miles has talent. He's a senior. He's smaller than Lattimore. And they also have Mike Davis, a true freshman who's carried the ball 19 times this year. They could hand it off to in this ball game as well.
During the run, holding number 55, offense, 10-yard penalty, first down.
It's on T.J. Johnson, the center, his second penalty. Remember, he got called earlier for the head bob, which cost them 5 yards on the false start.
Take a look. He's right here. He's trying to block Daniel McCullers, the big defensive tackle, and you see a whole lot there.
Go out of the empty set here. First down and 20. 2 timeouts remaining for the Gamecocks. And the clock rolling, nearing the 2-minute mark here in the first half. A design run for Shaw. And he's inside the 40 and down to the 35. A.J. Cann, the left guard, had a hold of a defender and just drove it back. The defensive player was on skates.
As poorly as Tennessee has played on defense in this game, 2nd and 10 here, they've got to find a way to get a stop. Only down 1 touchdown going into halftime, and you'd love to get a stop and force a long field goal.
Shaw will throw on 2nd and 10. And it's caught inside the 30-yard line by Cunningham. They'll come up just short of a first down, but it will be 3rd down and a yard. So 1st and 20, and after 2 good plays, they get 3rd down and short.
Tennessee just seems to be thinking a lot on defense. They're not quite sure their assignments and where to go, look for the football.
Here's Miles, and he powers forward for the first down. McCullers got him on the ground, but a good hard run by Kenny Miles, Lattimore's replacement.
And Kenny Miles played a lot of football here in South Carolina. He's reliable, he's smart, knows what to do with the football, and so they trust him. Steve Spurrier does.
Shaw with tons of time. Everybody covered, though. And Shaw looking to run. And got rid of the pass, incomplete. Trying to hit Ellington, so 48 seconds on the clock. In previous games, though, he would have run. At least he hung in there and threw it at the last minute and threw it where only the receiver could make a play.
Well, I think so far in this game, Connor Shaw has learn from his mistakes of the previous 2 weeks. Steve Spurrier's been telling him, I want you to throw the football. I call passes to throw the ball. I don't call passes for you to run. I want you to run. I'll call a run for you. And so I think he's trying to extend the plays and use his feet, but keep his eyes downfield. And so far, he's 14 of 17 for over 200 yards and a couple of touchdowns. So it's working for Connor Shaw.
Yeah, lately he's had this many attempts for an entire game, not a half. Again with time. And Shaw downfield. It's caught. To the 1-yard line is Justice Cunningham. It'll be 1st and goal, South Carolina.
They ran this play earlier, and Connor Shaw pulled it down and checked it down for a touchdown. Now he takes the shot downfield, gets his big tight end, and comes up just short of a touchdown.
First and goal.
So 1st and goal from the 1. 30 seconds remaining in the half. Here's Miles. And he stood up. Lathers got him, kept him from getting into the end zone. And South Carolina will call a timeout. Steve Spurrier runs onto the field to the numbers to get the officials' attention. All right, let's get the update on Marcus Lattimore from Jen Brown.
All right, Dave. Well, they're still evaluating. They have taken him back. But here's what I can tell you. I was back there when his mom, Yolanda Smith, finally made it to him. They spent about 5 minutes in embrace. She was crying. He was emotional and crying. And to be honest, I got a bit emotional myself. They are evaluating him. They will let me know. But I have to say it does not look good based on their responses.
All right. Thanks so much, Jen. And obviously just horrible to see that to any player, but especially from a guy that has come off of a miserable injury in the past.
Well, it's been through so much already. You know, I mean, it's, again, you can only hope that some of the injuries we've seen in the past, like Willis McGahee, and remember that, I think it was in the national championship game.
He's still playing in the NFL.
And absolutely. And you think about Marcus Lattimore, and everybody knows he's got pro potential. And you don't want him to be robbed of that by these injuries. I think that he can come back from something like this and be as productive, and it's been done before with a guy like Willis McGahee.
Well, again, we don't know what the injury is, so we're only speculating at this point, but obviously it looks serious. And hopefully the report, when we get a report, will be good news for Lattimore, as good as possible. See if they give it to Miles again here. They do have a timeout left. They will. Miles to the goal line and short. Well, it's 3rd and goal. South Carolina will call its final timeout. So now what? 18 seconds left. If you run it and you don't get in, you'll have time. On 4th down the run of play, if you're Spurrier here, do you call 2 plays in the huddle, or do you get your field goal team ready in case you don't get in here on 3rd down if it's a run? And then the other option is just to throw the football.
I don't like to try to see if I can run my team out there and attempt a field goal. Sometimes you get a big pile up, especially in goal line situations. So roll your quarterback out, give him an option to throw the football, and if there's a clear lane for him to run it in, run it in. If there's not, throw the ball out of bounds and we attempt a field goal.
Again, you got 18 seconds left, no timeout. So if they elect to run the ball and he doesn't get in, you can get your field goal team out there, but it's not a lot of time.
It's not 100%, right? I mean, if you got guys tangled up on the bottom of the pile, they take their sweet time getting up, and that's, I guarantee you, what Derek Dooley is telling his defensive guys on that side of the field is, hey, if they run this ball and don't get in, do everything you can to slow the process.
And this is where you'd love to have Lattimore. The last 2 downs, you know, he's 220 pounds. Yeah. Miles is 190. Lattimore is the guy they give it to on the goal line, but obviously not available. And so they're going to spread it out now. It doesn't mean they won't run it, but they're going to spread it out.
Yeah, I think they get Connor Shaw on the edge.
3rd and goal. 18 seconds to go in the half. Tennessee saw the formation and called a timeout. So while we have a moment, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's BCS standings, brought to you by Vizio. Got Alabama tonight atop the BCS standings, taking on Mississippi State, which is at number 11. Big game in the Big 12. Can Kansas State stay unbeaten? Oregon should win. Of course, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, ABC tonight. Oregon State with a test at Washington, although they're not playing that well.
I'm interested in that Florida-Georgia game. That Florida defense has been playing as good on that side of the ball as anybody in the country. I know Alabama is very good defensively. Look at the teams that Florida has played, the kinds of offenses, the different kinds of offense. They shut down a passing team in Tennessee. They shut down a running team in LSU. They shut down this South Carolina offense. They've shut down everybody. And now they get Aaron Murray coming into the swamp. It'll be an interesting test.
It's in Jacksonville. You know, Georgia has got players on defense. I mean, you think at some point they're going to play better on D. Will it happen today? Third down and goal for South Carolina, leading by 7, out of timeouts, 18 seconds left in the half. Shaw going to walk in, touchdown. That was easy for Connor Shaw.
Tennessee got caught anticipating an inside run, and Jordan Williams, the defensive end, just fell down.
South Carolina, a team that hasn't been the best offensive team this year. They're 95th in total offense, and they average 31 points per game. They're right there at halftime, and they got 300 yards of offense at the half, and now 28 points. Second rushing touchdown this season for Connor Shaw.
Take a look at Jordan Williams. This is his play to make, and once the snap of the football, he just gets caught crashing down and has no chance to get to the outside, and Connor Shaw. That look is all too familiar for Volunteer fans. Week in and week out, they've had some success on offense, and everybody gets enamored with the talent that they have on offense, but defense wins games, wins championships, and Tennessee struggled all year.
Shaw's thrown for 228. He's averaging 140 yards per game, and a lot of those completions and big plays have come on third down, where you said it was a combination of scheme and a combination of players. It's a bad combination.
Yeah.
Neither's good.
Yeah, well, the execution, when you implement a new scheme, the execution is going to lag, and you have only 20 hours a week to coach up these guys on the defensive side, and when you try to do too much too soon, you leave big creases in the secondary, and then you have missed assignments which lead to big plays.
Well, how realistic is it when you hire a guy to have things in place immediately with young players adjusting to a new scheme?
Well, it's not realistic, and that's been a struggle for Sal Sunseri.
Again, a rolling kick, and it went past Young and into the hands of Patterson. That's the guy they want with the ball, but there's just no running room. Good coverage by South Carolina.
When you talk about kind of the breakdowns, you just look at the last drive. Justice Cunningham down the middle.
Mason Harris for the Gamecocks on tackle.
Two deep defense, and you see you don't get a jam on him. You miss it. A.J. Johnson, accurate throw from Justice Cunningham. And then you just don't recognize that in that situation as an offense, they're going to try to get to the perimeter. You got to defend the perimeter, and it's just that lack of recognition that continues to hurt Tennessee.
So Bray takes a knee. He had a solid first half for Tennessee. So a 14-point deficit is not insurmountable for the Vols if they can stop South Carolina, which put up 28 points. Let's go to Jen, who's standing by with Coach Bird.
Thanks, Dave. Coach, what did the athletic trainers say to you about Marcus Lattimore's injury?
Well, it looks severe on the field. Hopefully it's not as severe as we thought, but we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, you said you wanted Connor Shaw to throw the ball. How would you assess?
He's throwing, the guys are catching. We've had some nice passes and to get the points we got. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Coach. Dave?
All right, Jen. 15 of 19 for 228 yards. Connor Shaw, you could argue, couldn't play any better. 28-14, Shaw and the Gamecocks on top of Tennessee.
Would you pay $35?
By Cars.com.
You're watching the SEC on ESPN and ESPN 3D from Columbia, South Carolina, Williams-Brice Stadium. South Carolina looking to bounce back after consecutive losses, leading Tennessee as we get ready for the third quarter. 28-14 Gamecocks. Connor Shaw had a great first half, but that's not the story. Marcus Lattimore, one of the best players in college football with a horrific knee injury. Right knee, was the left knee torn ACL last year. Right knee injury here today in the first half. And again, might want to look away when you see the contact coming from number 24, Eric Gordon, coming in low on the hit on the right leg of Lattimore. And we've had a lot of people in the press box, very somber mood. You could understand why outside. Nobody happy right now, South Carolina. And it's just horrible when you lose that
so
kind
much
of
respect for a guy like Marcus Lattimore, both as a player, but also as a person, as a leader, elected captain, as not being a senior on this team. His teammates love him, and everybody in this stadium loves him.
Well, let's get the latest on Lattimore with Jen Brown.
Well, here's what I can tell you guys right now. He is still currently here at the stadium. He is back in the training room. They're still checking him out. I should hopefully have a little bit more of an update in a couple of minutes. But to what you were saying, Greasy, about the respect that this team has, I've had more than 3 to 5 people come up to me to say, he, as good of a football player he is, he's a better person. So much respect from this team. Certainly very, very sad to see him be injured.
In fact, I got some texts at halftime from other ESPN analysts who said the same thing you just said, that he's one of the more respected young men in the game. And his replacement, Kenny Miles, and true freshman Mike Davis. They had the lead, 28-14 over Tennessee. And Connor Shaw had one of his better halves, first or second half of the season, as this will come out to the 25 for Shaw. 15 of 19, 228 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and after the last 2 weeks where he struggled really to pull the trigger, now all of a sudden, take a look. He's looking downfield. Justice Cunningham's not open, keeps his eyes up, and drops it off to his back. They're going to come back later in another touchdown drive with the same play. Take a look, Cunningham down the field. This time, a little bit of a double move. Connor Shaw reads it, pulls the trigger this time, and a great throw and catch to Justice Cunningham's great growth, and the kind of growth that Steve Spurrier wanted to see from Connor Shaw in a game like this.
Now, last week against Alabama, he was pulled after the first half. 9 of 20, 72 yards and an interception against Florida, I should say, and did not play in the second half. He's going to throw here on 1st and 10. Ellington out in space. First down and more for Ellington as the Tennessee pass defense continues to struggle. They've given up over 230 yards through the air and over 300 yards of total offense. There is a penalty marker down on the far side, out of bounds at the 39-yard line.
Sideline interference against Tennessee. That's a 5-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down.
Now, if that's on Derek Dooley, they should show him a little bit of grace. The guy's coming off hip surgery. He's got a cane. He had 2 crutches last week. Probably against the guys behind him.
I hope he didn't trip anybody with the cane, that's for sure.
48 for Gamecocks.
So first down from the South Carolina 48. Here's Miles off the right side, and boy, if he broke that tackle, it was one-on-one with the corner Coleman, but it's A.J. Johnson that trips him up after a gain of 3.
And it's hard to know. Certainly Connor Shaw has played better in this first half, throwing the football down the field. And it's probably a very welcome sight to see the Tennessee defense rather than the LSU or Florida defense. Much different look.
Shaw on the rollout and gets positive yardage, bumped out at the 25-yard line by Rod Wilkes. So third down coming up. Now Tennessee has to get stops on third down. They haven't been able really to do it today. The third down and longs have really gotten them. This is a 3rd and 3. 6 of 11 South Carolina on third down today.
And the real trouble is Tennessee can't really get a rush on third downs because they don't have that real playmaker. Jacquez Smith is their best pass rusher, but he only plays on certain downs. But you can't blitz to get pressure because you expose a secondary that's very green.
Check that 4 of 8 on third down, South Carolina. 0 for 2 in that 3rd and short situation. They've been converting the 3rd and longs. The blitz is picked up, and Shaw's going deep. One-on-one coverage. He overthrew Sanders. Justin Coleman defending. Shaw wants that one back.
Well, he had the one-on-one. All 10 other defenders were up around the line of scrimmage, and it was just Ace Sanders on Justin Coleman. Coleman does a nice job running with Sanders, and that ball just overthrown a touch.
So 4th down, South Carolina will punt. Tennessee gets a stop. They'll send Devin Young back. And this punt will go into the end zone, so it'll be Tennessee ball on the 20. All right, time for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
Steve Spurrier won the Heisman in 1966 and was the 3rd pick in the NFL draft. Who was the Heisman runner-up and the 4th overall pick in the draft? Anyone can answer this on our crew except my color man.
Boy, I don't know.
I mean, because I know you know the answer, and if you don't, you're getting a phone call after the game from somebody you know.
Don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Why, is there a prize at stake here?
Absolutely. Pride.
So Tennessee takes over, 1st down on the 20. Young is a tailback. And he gets knocked down after a gain of 1. Reginald Owens, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
Be interested to see how Tyler Bray, this Tennessee offense, responds in this second half. Again, I'll make the point. They've got plenty of playmakers, and they can be explosive. They've just got to execute a little bit better and then get a couple of stops. They could be right back in this football game.
Bray threw for 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks in that first half. 2nd and 9 for Tennessee. Trying to avoid an 0-5 record in the SEC for the 3rd straight year to start the season. Here's a delayed handoff, and South Carolina's all over it. Marlon Lane, brought down by Devontae Holloman. Minimal gain there. And another injury. Byron Gerardo, defensive tackle for South Carolina.
Well, remember, Kelsey Quarles, our other defensive tackle, is already out of this football game. Gerardo, the other starting defensive tackle, this would be a blow for their front 7.
I have no idea as to how I'm going to be paying for college.
I'm the 2nd oldest of 14 children.
One defensive tackle in Kelsey Quarles with a shoulder injury. Now Byron Gerardo shaken up. A leg injury as he was being helped off the field, and now you see Quarles over there to check on his teammate. Quarles was also suspended after the Florida game a couple weeks ago for punching, or the LSU game rather. He punched an LSU player. He was suspended for last week's game against Florida. But he's out today with an injury. 3rd and 8 for Tennessee. And wide open is Patterson. 1st down, Vols. One was covered by Shaq Wilson.
Yep, sorry, Dave. One of the things that Cordero Patterson does well is the fade and then the fade stop. Once you get that corner running, they've got to respect the speed of Patterson, and then they combine that with that fade stop, and it's deadly.
There's Marlon Lane up the middle for about 3. What do you think the biggest difference in Tyler Bray's game is today? You had Derek Dooley come out publicly, even though he told us, look, much was made of that. I wasn't trying to motivate him, but maybe it was a challenge unknowingly that worked.
Well, I think it needed to be said. You can't turn the football over and play quarterback.
And that pass was off target, incomplete, intended for Rodgers.
But at the same time, you know, there's a lot of psychology from the head coach to the quarterback. And Tyler Bray, while he's very talented, sometimes he takes things into his own hands and tries to create when there's not plays to be made there, tries to push the envelope when he should be taking care of the offense. And I think that's the thing that Derek Dooley and Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, just want him to play within the confines of the offense and give themselves a chance to win.
Another 3rd down and long for Tennessee. Bray with time and going to go deep. Single coverage. Defender falls. It's caught. Vincent Dallas, touchdown, Tennessee.
Jimmy LeGree was in great shape running with Vincent Dallas. He turns to look back for the ball, and they just click heels. And as much misfortune as Tennessee had with some calls in the first half, the horse collar, they get a little bit of luck on their side, and they're right back in this football game down 8.
61-yard touchdown pass by Bray, his third today. He came in SEC games with more interceptions than touchdowns, but he's played his best conference game of the year today. First touchdown for Dallas. Extra point makes it 28-21 South Carolina. South Carolina. It's number 13 South Carolina and Tennessee due to time constraints. We move ahead to further action. 1 on the play clock. They got to snap it, and they did get the play off, and Shaw going deep, and it's bobbled and incomplete. And then the official, the side judge, I'd love to know what he said there, as he just got taken out, and Connor Shaw holding that injured right shoulder. In fact, they told us that he was 100% going into today, but he's had a scapula problem. It cost him a game. Dylan Thompson came in when Shaw was benched last week against Florida, and Thompson's going to be coming in here.
Let's go back and see what happened. He takes a big hit from Lathers. Wow, that just takes your breath away. Hopefully he just lost his breath, but it didn't look like he landed on the shoulder. That's a good sign for Carolina fans, but that one just kind of...
Well, here's the thing. Dylan Thompson's also been banged up. In fact, he hurt his tricep in a sleeping injury. He was asleep. He woke up the next day. His tricep was sore, so he's not going in. Seth Strickland, who's thrown 5 passes this year, a 5th-year senior, who Steve Spurrier says knows the offense, makes good decisions. He's the quarterback right now with Shaw on the sideline, and again Thompson battling that sleeping injury.
Yeah, and I think Connor Shaw is going to be fine. He just got the wind knocked out of him. He's up on the sideline. He'll come back in probably next play.
Second down and 10, and the first pass from Strickland is on the money to Rory Anderson. He steps out at the 31 for a gain of 6, and
there you go. You're cold on the sideline. You come in, you know, you need one pitch and you deliver right on the money. Good job, Seth Strickland.
Now Shaw back out there for 3rd down and a long 3. They're 0 for 3 on 3rd down and 3 to 7. They picked up a 3rd and 26 in the first half. They're going to run Miles. And he's going to be close. Brought down by McCullers. Looks to be just short. So 4th down and 1. 2nd 3 and out here in the 3rd quarter.
Wow.
By South Carolina. Give Tennessee's defense some credit.
I would imagine it was a emotional speech in the locker room for this defense for Tennessee. They've come out and played well. That's what they need to get back in this game, is big play offense and a little bit better defense.
All punting on 4th down. And Young signaling and has the fair catch at the 27. Let's get the latest now on Marcus Lattimore's injury. Here's Jen Brown.
Well, Dave, I can tell you about 5 minutes ago, Marcus Lattimore was taken by an ambulance to the hospital. He was surrounded by his family, who were still quite emotional. They're going to take him there, evaluate him, and obviously if I get any more news, I'll let you know.
All right. And again, that was an injury that he suffered in the first half. He's in that ambulance going to the hospital. And as Steve Spurrier said at halftime, it's a serious injury, he believes. Bray off play action to Hunter and couldn't hang on. Incomplete. Ahmad Christian, redshirt freshman from Jacksonville, may have gotten a hand in there to break up the pass.
Yeah, that was a great play by Christian. Take a look. He's going against one of the best receivers in the SEC, and Justin Hunter. He plays the route, gets the hand in, doesn't get the hand on the back to get a pass interference call. Well done by the freshman corner.
So now look at Patterson in the game at tailback. Try to get the ball in his hands here. 2nd down and 10. We've seen him run it a few times today. And they'll pitch it to him. Looking for a lane. He's got it at the 30. And Patterson finally wrestled down at the 30 2-yard line. That's a gain of 5. But if Swearinger doesn't make that play, Patterson gets to that next level. Look out.
Boy, it's amazing. I mean, he's 6'3", 205 pounds, and he looks a little out of place lining up at the halfback position and making plays and cuts. He probably doesn't know how these runs are blocked, so he doesn't know what the reads are. They're just giving him the ball, saying, hey, find some space and make a play.
3rd down and 3. Bray with time, lobs it, overthrown, incomplete. Intended for Hunter. Swearinger on the coverage, so Tennessee now will kick it.
You got man-to-man coverage. You got Justin Hunter at 6'4" on DJ Swearinger, who's 6 feet. Give him an opportunity to fight back for the ball. You don't have to make the perfect throw every time. Allow Hunter to come back up and fight for the football. I say it every week. Err on the side of throwing the ball short rather than overthrowing it. You might have an opportunity.
And maybe the defender doesn't get his head around and you get a pass interference call.
Exactly. Especially in college, defenders are not getting their heads around.
Palardi had a bad day punting. This is a beauty, but it kicks into the end zone. So it's a 66-yard punt, but a net of 46. Ball at the 20 for Shaw in South Carolina.
Uh-oh, not again.
Athletic trivia question. Steve Spurrier won the Heisman in '66. Who was the Heisman runner-up and then drafted one place after Spurrier in the '67 draft? The answer is, Brian?
Boilermaker.
Bob Griese.
Yeah.
And Bubba Smith went #1 that year.
That should have been the Aflac question.
Who was #1?
Yeah.
3 of the top 5 picks were Spartans that year. And you had the Gator and Spurrier and the Boilermaker in Griese. There's Shaw on the rollout, and the pass is caught by Sanders out of bounds at the 35. It's gained of about 15. You know, your dad told me a story because back then, obviously, the draft wasn't televised.
Right.
He was in the training room at Purdue. He was getting ready to think about what the future was. Didn't even know if he was going to play in the NFL. And somebody said, hey, you got drafted by the Dolphins. He said, really? Guy became a Hall of Famer.
And you believe that story?
Are you calling your dad a liar? You know he's watching.
I don't know that. He's probably on the golf course. He's not.
All right, I'll give you that. Here's Shaw. And brought down after a gain of about 1 or 2.
And if Steve Spurrier weren't coaching this game, he may be on the golf course with him.
He's still keeping contact from time to time. He was happy to see you yesterday. Asked some questions about your dad.
Yeah. I told him I wondered who could do better on the treadmill, Coach Spurrier or my dad. You know, who's kept in better shape through the years.
All right, let's stop talking about your dad. His head's getting big here. 2nd and 9. Shaw in shotgun midway through the 3rd. In trouble. Shaw trips but keeps his balance and close to the 1st down. Stepped out about 2 yards short. So a gain of 7. 3rd down and 2. They've been in 3rd down a lot here in this 3rd quarter.
I thought it was interesting what Steve Spurrier told us yesterday. He said, you know, I really want Connor Shaw to throw the football when I call those passes, but I don't want to coach him out of his innate ability to create and use his legs, and I think that was a good example.
True freshman Mike Davis in the game at tailback. No Lattimore. And Davis straight ahead, Powers. He gets pushed back. We'll see where they give him forward progress. It looked like he got enough for the 1st down. Herman Lathers, who has had some big hits today, made the stop. It is a 1st down. And these are really the only other 2 guys they play at tailback. Miles and Davis. They came into today with a combined 51 attempts. And it may be them the rest of the season pending the Lattimore injury.
Well, them and their 2nd leading rusher, who's Connor Shaw.
Yeah, maybe now there's more running plays called for him.
Absolutely.
Got 9 carries, 15 yards today. Shaw. H.A. Johnson takes down Mike Davis after a gain of 3.
South Carolina has continued to attack this Tennessee defense on the interior with some of these power runs, and really outside of the touchdown run from Marcus Lattimore in the 1st half, Tennessee is starting to make some adjustments. Big Dan McCullers and Herman Lathers, two big guys in the middle of his defense, are starting to get a bead on that inside running game for South Carolina.
Shaw on 2nd and 7. And another well-thrown ball to Ace Sanders. First down catch to the 40-yard line. Connor Shaw has been terrific passing the football today, 18 of 24.
This has become the bread and butter for Steve Spurrier. Roll out Connor Shaw and run the traditional corner flat combination that Steve Spurrier has run for the last 25 years. And again, another completion.
They'll look to Spurrier to get the check. First down at the 40-yard line of Tennessee. And pretty balanced. First down, running and passing. It's a Shaw run here. And he slides to the 36-yard line for about 4.
Connor Shaw's getting a little smarter with respect to taking care of his body. Remember back the first game of the year against Vanderbilt? He's running around, putting shoulders down, trying to get extra yardage. Now he's taking some hits at LSU and at Florida. Took a big hit from Herman Lathers in this game. He's going to get the yards he can get out of bounds or get down. He's learning.
The spot is where the ball is, not the feet on the slide. So it's officially only 2 yards. 8th play of the drive coming up. They go with an empty set here. And Shaw taken off again. First down for Shaw to the 29-yard line.
It's a great play call from Steve Spurrier. A check at the line of scrimmage. You see a 2-deep defense, 6 guys in the box. Give it to your second leading rusher. Let Connor Shaw get out there with a lead blocker and the tight end and then get down. Very effective.
Unless South Carolina turns it over, can Tennessee stop them? We've seen a couple 3-and-outs, but can they do it consistently?
I think they need to start coming after Connor Shaw. Play man-to-man on the outside and bring some linebackers and safeties and get after him.
There's Shaw on the design run, and he doesn't get much.
The other thing, playing more aggressive man-to-man coverage would help Tennessee in that you don't have to adjust in a zone coverage. You don't have to read releases and formations. You say, I got that guy, I got that receiver, I got that back, and the rest of you go after the quarterback. It's a lot easier to execute. Maybe that's something Tennessee will try as this game goes on.
His knee was actually down at the 30, so a 1-yard loss. You saw him lunge forward, but his knee was down. That's where the ball was as well. So 2nd and 11. Shaw again with all kinds of time, pass into traffic, and it's going to be pass interference. Cunningham was the intended receiver. Lathers was all over him, so it'll be an automatic first down instead of 3rd down and long.
Pass interference, number 34 defense. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
I know it's hard for a linebacker out in coverage there, but you can't do that.
Yeah, Herman Lathers right here. He's in bad position because he allows the receiver to be in between him and the ball. And so the only way that he can get to the ball is through the receiver, and that leads to a penalty. So Herman Lathers is known for his run-stopping ability, struggles a little bit in pass coverage.
So 1st and 10 at the 25 of Tennessee. 5th volunteer penalty. Here's Davis trying to run behind some blockers, but Lathers able to make a play. Only a gain of 1 for South Carolina.
There you go. Herman Lathers, as long as you run the ball, he's going to be around it. Physical player and loves to stop the run. And the combination of Lathers and McCullers, the nose guard, has been effective for Tennessee in this second half.
What a great story. Lathers, a cancer survivor, bone cancer, also missed last year with a fractured ankle, but he's back for his senior season and trying to help Tennessee get its first SEC win. After today, the Vols have Troy and then Missouri, Vanderbilt, and Kentucky. So no ranked teams remaining. Shaw going deep. Sanders caught. Touchdown. Third of the day for Connor Shaw. 24-yard strike.
Steve Spurrier has made a career off of the corner route. at Duke, at Florida, now at South Carolina. A perfectly thrown ball from Connor Shaw, and safety Byron Moore just too late to the party.
South Carolina now over 400 yards total offense. 11-play, 80-yard drive, and the extra point by Yates. It's a 14-point lead for the Gamecocks.
35, Tennessee 21.
Sanders open, and Connor Shaw maybe having his best game in SEC play this year. Put it on him. Here in this game, South Carolina with 4 touchdowns of 20 yards or longer and a 35-21 lead. Tennessee has shown the ability offensively to make some plays and to move the football. Tyler Bray is thrown for 3 touchdowns like Connor Shaw, but again, can the defense stop the Gamecocks? South Carolina looking to bounce back after losing 2 in a row and get to 7-2 and keep, for now, hopes alive. Slim hopes, albeit, of playing in the SEC title game. On the return out to the 31-yard line, Tennessee ball. Here's Reese Davis. And Tennessee trying to cut into this 14-point lead. Reese, they got Quinshon Watson, true freshman from Athens, Georgia, who's in the ball game at tailback. South Carolina with 8 in the box, and they'll run Watson. He's got a running lane. 35 out near the 40, and the first down to the 42-yard line. His first carry of the day, and it's a good one. Quinn Smith on the stop, but 11 yards downfield.
Tennessee's been in this position before, down in these games, and they don't lose confidence in their offense.
The up-tempo worked in the first half. That was juggled by Patterson and then pulled in. And he's still going. Started running backwards, but then turned it upfield and picks up about 8 yards. But this pace worked for Tennessee in that first half.
Yeah, and the thing about Patterson that's impressive is with all his moves and open field ability, he's still a physical player at the line of scrimmage as well as after the ball.
Got 6 yards there. Actually, 8 yards. Should be 2nd and 2. Yep, 2nd and 2. Watson trying to find a hole. It's not there. He gets swallowed at the line of scrimmage by big Devin Taylor, 6'8", 270. We haven't talked a lot about Clowney today. He's been blocked. We haven't really called Taylor's name very often, and Taylor made a play there against the run.
Oh, we haven't called their names quite a bit because this is a good offensive line. And Antonio Richardson, Juwan James, both of these tackles are doing a nice job on these ends. And now in a situation 3rd and short where they have to come off the football.
3rd and 2. Play action. And Bray going deep. The defender falls again, but it's overthrown. Hunter can't catch up with it. On the last drive, it was Legree that fell down. And here it's Ahmad Christian that falls down.
Yeah, and it was a double move to the outside. That's why he fell down. He was breaking on the outside route, and then Tyler Bray again now. It's the 3rd time in this game where he's had an overthrow on an opportunity to make a big play, and you need to communicate. Come back with Justin Hunter and say, hey, man, I'm going to throw a little bit short. You got to protect me and go back up and get it if it is covered.
Tennessee going. 4th down and 2. It'll be a pass play. Bray moving around, throws complete. First down, and it's Pig Howard inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. So they keep the chains moving. That's a big play for the Tennessee offense.
Oh, huge play. And Tyler Bray had all day to throw the football. Bought a little time, but where's Clowney? Where's Taylor? They're getting swallowed up right now by these 2 offensive tackles.
It hasn't all been with double teams and chips. We've seen a lot of one-on-one by the right and left tackles, respectively, on Taylor and Clowney. First down at the 39 of South Carolina. And a huge play by Clowney grabbing Lane and throwing him down. So improved against the run and made a play there.
Well, as soon as I call him out, he's going to come on a pinch here. A little stunt game. Tennessee wasn't ready for it on the offensive line, and that's a call on the line of scrimmage. Now that Tennessee's run the ball with a little bit of success, defensive coordinator Lorenzo Ward will pinch and scrape those defensive tackles in order to get in those run lanes.
Clowney out of the game for 2nd down and 9. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Bray, another overthrow. He had the receiver, Carter, wide open, and he overthrew him. There was pressure in his face, and Bray with the incompletion.
Yeah, he had some pressure. He got the blitz off the edge. It's going to come this way, and he's just trying to get it on the seam on the outside. But as you see, he's one short. He's got to get rid of that football on time, and just missed it.
Missed opportunities for the Tennessee offense. Although Bray's numbers have been good. 236 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers.
Probably 4-down territory here at the 30-yard line.
3rd and 9. Bray stepping up, throwing, complete. 1st down, Justin Hunter. Bray hung in there because there was some pressure from those ends, but he stepped up and completed the pass for a 1st down.
Yeah, but again, good pocket to throw from. That was a route that initially was covered, and Justin Hunter had to uncover, which takes time. This secondary for South Carolina is not used to covering guys this long. They're used to Clowney and Taylor getting to the quarterback.
Bray to pass on 1st and 10. Here's Hunter inside the 15 and down to the 12. Another 1st down. You talked about the quarterback and the receivers not being on the same page. Maybe they're finding their rhythm here today in Columbia.
Absolutely. Look at this route from Justin Hunter. Great transition. That's the thing you can't teach wide receivers is in and out of breaks, transition. He's got great feet. The thing that's been the question is, can he catch the ball consistently enough?
14-point lead for South Carolina as we go to the 4th quarter.
You still think you
Well, he's been stymied pretty much most of the day. They've used tight ends to block him. They've tried to chip him and cut him. Then they've had tackles like Dallas Thomas and one-on-one block him. Then he tries to come with a TE and wrap him and pinch him down inside. But Tennessee has had answers for Jadeveon Clowney. That's the touchdown pass. Just give him enough time to throw. And so far, 3 sacks only this season, 2nd in the FBS, only to Air Force, who doesn't throw the ball. So you can make an argument this offensive line is the best O-line in pass pro in the country.
A little trickery here. They're going to put Pig Howard in as the Wildcat quarterback on 1st down. And Howard going to throw it. Wide open. Touchdown, Michael Rivera. Great call by the Volunteers to start the 4th quarter, and they're back within a score.
Great play call from Jim Chaney. You have the quarter. You've got a lot of time on the sideline to talk about it, set it up. Pig Howard has run the ball almost exclusively out of that Wildcat set, so South Carolina was ready for the run. You come with the pass, and it's wide open.
Impressive 10-play, 69-yard drive. 13-yard touchdown pass to Rivera, his 3rd of the year.
There he is. Here's Rivera. He's just going to go down the field, and they're going to take the snap directly to Pig Howard. Act like you block, and then just slip to the backside, and you're wide open for a big score. Bring your team within 1 touchdown. That's not easy to throw the ball like that on the move with guys coming after you if you don't throw the ball a lot. Nicely done by Pig Howard.
Hi, I'm Joe Theismann, and no matter what stadium I broadcast from,
by Cars.com from Columbia, South Carolina. It's number 13 South Carolina and Tennessee due to time constraints. We move ahead to further action. Would be the winless teams in the SEC in conference games. Shaw to throw on 2nd and 6, and wide open Cunningham. Inside the 30, being chased by McNeil. The stiff arm. Oh, Cunningham says, get out of the way. 1st and goal, South Carolina.
recurring theme of confusion on the defensive side. You had one guy lined up on the wrong side of the field. He's trying to get over to this side, and then Cunningham gets matched up. There's no safety left in the middle of the field, and just before Connor Shaw gets hit, he gets the ball out to Cunningham, and then true freshman Daryl McNeil tries to get on the ground, and that's easier said than done.
First and goal for the Gamecocks. 45-yard pass play. And Cunningham, a dangerous weapon at tight end. Shaw, end zone, overthrown. There was some pressure, and he threw it high. Daniel Hood got back there. Ellington was the intended receiver.
Well, big Daniel Hood was coming right up the pipe on Connor Shaw. He had to get rid of that football before he wanted to, and Ellington wasn't quite open yet.
So second and goal from the 7-yard line.
Here's where you miss Lattimore down here inside. He was the closer for this South Carolina offense. Now you throw the ball on first down, and you're in danger of not punching this in. Interesting to see what they do here.
Yeah, remember on the goal line at the end of the half, they had opportunities to get in. They tried to run twice with Davis. That didn't work. Then Shaw ran it in. Here he's throwing, and it's wide of Sanders, incomplete. So now it's third down and goal. But again, everything changed when you threw on first down and it was incomplete.
Yeah, well, you take that shot. You know, I think Steve Spurrier knows he doesn't have his horse, and he's trying to find answers on the fly here. He didn't anticipate not having Lattimore, so you throw the ball on first down. Hopefully you get a wide open receiver. Then you roll a guy out because you're worried about protection. And now you got to throw the football here.
And it's not just running that you miss with Lattimore. He's an excellent receiver out of the backfield, leads the team in catches. So third and goal for Shaw. Mike Davis, true freshman, back there with him. Here comes pressure. Shaw being chased, and Shaw sacked by Lathers back at the 19-yard line. That's a 12-yard setback, and South Carolina's had some problems in the field goal game this year.
They're going to bring everybody in an all-out blitz and play man-to-man coverage and sell out to get to Connor Shaw before he gets rid of it. He wanted to throw the ball to Ace Sanders. The problem was Ace Sanders was open, but he was running on the other side of the field, and the pressure from Lathers forced Shaw to run the opposite direction.
So fourth down, and here comes Adam Yates, who's had 2 kicks blocked. Special teams have been a problem all year for the Gamecocks. 36-yard attempt. Try to extend the lead. And the kick is perfect. So South Carolina at the 10-minute mark leads Tennessee by 10.
Every 3 months, 200
ranked team in 3 years. Marcus Lattimore taken to the hospital with a right knee injury. Shaw has played very well without having Lattimore. Career high for Shaw, passing 351 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns, 3 passing, 1 rushing. But Tennessee with a big stop, forcing South Carolina to try a field goal, the first attempt by either team today. Now Yates kicking off and trying to keep it away from Patterson. And on the return up to the 33-yard line. Marcus Lattimore hurt the knee at the end of the half. He was carted off after the right knee injury. It was the left knee that he tore last year, the ACL, against Mississippi State, and taken to the hospital about 45 minutes ago. Again, we'll update the latest on him when that news becomes available. But Steve Spurrier, based on what he knows, told Jayden Brown at halftime that he thought it was serious. Bray throws complete, and Hunter able to get the first down out to the 46-yard line. 7 catches now for Hunter.
There's been cushion all day on Justin Hunter on the outside, and if I'm Tyler Bray and Jim Chaney, offensive coordinator, I'm going to keep throwing the ball out there. Force them to come up and play press coverage, and then that would open up the downfield throws to Hunter and Patterson.
Patterson's in the backfield at tailback with Young as the up man. They pitched it to Patterson to run it last time, and they'll do it again. And he's in trouble, but stays in bounds and gets positive yardage before he's whacked by Kadietrix Marcus. Give Patterson some credit there. Looked like he might get taken down for a loss. Made a nifty move, stayed in bounds, and got a handful on the ground.
Well, South Carolina knows when Patterson's in that ball game at the tailback position, it's probably going to be the toss sweep to get him outside. And DJ Swearinger, the safety, was in great position, just couldn't get him on the ground.
So 2nd and 5. Marlon Lane in the game now at running back. See if Tennessee goes back to that up-tempo. Works so well. They fake the end around, and now Bray going downfield. Open man. A diving catch inside the 25. Rivera slides to the 22-yard line. First down, Tennessee.
The matchup of Rivera on Holloman is an advantage for Tennessee. Take a look. Holloman, the spur, is going to guard him up the seam, and he just can't run with him. He fakes like he's going to block. Justin Hunter clears out, and then Rivera just runs right by the linebacker.
The South Carolina defense that's 15th in the country in points allowed, 9th in total defense, and they're getting chewed up by this Tennessee offense. 27-yard pass play on the previous down. Bray to throw it again. On the roll up, Bray going for the end zone. Got a man. It's caught. Touchdown. Zach Rogers, his 3rd of the day.
Wow, Zach Rogers is running roughshod through the secondary of South Carolina. Did he drag the toe?
Looks like he did.
Ooh, wow, what a catch from Zach Rogers. We knew he had good feet. He's shown that today, and to drag that toe is tremendous.
Tough to tell now.
Under further review.
Again, it has to be indisputable video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field. The other difficult thing there, Brian, is he's going to the ground and he's going into the cameraman, and he has to possess the ball all the way to the ground, and he did that.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question he caught the ball. The question is just, did he have possession while the toe was down? And the toe was down.
Yeah. I think he's in. And there, from that angle, you can't see the ball when he has possession. This is a better angle here, although better in terms of seeing the ball, but you can't really see the foot in terms of whether it touched the chalk after or before he had the ball.
There's nothing on that replay for me to overturn this call on the field of a touchdown. And you can see the groove that these guys and the rhythm that they're starting to get into on the Tennessee sideline. They believe they're still in this game. They believe they can make plays, and if they just get a couple of stops on defense, they can win this football game.
And if this stands, that'll be the 4th touchdown pass for Bray. 325 passing yards for the day. Remember last week, Florida had 183 yards. Even though Florida blew them out and had all those points, they could not move the ball. Now, they also had the short field a lot, but still, they had trouble moving the ball. It was either touchdown or 3 and out for Florida's offense. Tennessee has been as good offensively against South Carolina's defense as anybody has this year.
And the key, the fundamental, is they've been able to block them. They've been able to block Taylor. They've been able to block Clowney. Tyler Bray's had as much time as he needs in the pocket to throw the ball down the field.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Well, they did not have enough video evidence to overturn the ruling in the field. That's why the language of the ruling in the field stands rather than it's confirmed. Doesn't matter. It's a touchdown. Absolutely. And now a chance to cut it to a 3-point game. One thing's for sure, the players have not quit on Derek Dooley.
Absolutely not.
Say what you want about the previous seasons, but they have not quit on their coach. And Bray, who was challenged during the week by his head coach, playing perhaps his best game as Tennessee is only down 3. Can South Carolina hang on in Columbia?
ESPN College Football is presented by Cars.com, where confidence comes standard, and in part by the Buick Verano. Unexpected luxury in a car this size.
All these shots look beautiful in 3D here in Columbia, South Carolina, where the Gamecocks lead by 3 over Tennessee. Big touchdown. They certainly, those plays look better than we do in 3D.
These are kind of nice, man. Those look like Men in Black looking up here. Those look good on you, better than the ones that look on me.
.8:35 remaining. Tennessee down 3. Can South Carolina hang on without its best player? Lattimore injured and in the hospital. Here's Ellington, able to get outside. Great return for Ellington despite muffing the kickoff. He's out near the 40-yard line. NASCAR's Chase hits the home stretch with Brad Keselowski leading the way. The trophy's still up for grabs with only 4 races left to decide the championship. Dale Earnhardt Jr. back after missing the last couple of races because of a concussion. Martinsville Sunday 1 ESPN. So now the challenge for South Carolina. Do you put it in the hands of Connor Shaw? Has had a career day passing. You don't have Lattimore. Kenny Miles and Mike Davis have shown they're capable, but it's crunch time now.
Well, that last drive, it was a mix of running with Kenny Miles in the inside and then the big play to Justice Cunningham through the air.
Miles getting the carry on first down. Trying to cut it back. And a good hard run. About 4. Here's Jen Brown with the latest on Lattimore.
Well, we talked about the respect his teammates have. Coaches and players from the NFL and the NCAA have been weighing in on Twitter to show their support. We've got DeMarco Murrow, Les Miles, Johnny Manziel, Brandon Weeden, even Trey Mason, the running back for Auburn, says he's dedicating his play tonight by wearing number 21, which is his number, but he's playing for Lattimore tonight.
Again, it just speaks to what we've said all along. The amount of respect that Lattimore has because of his play and because of the type of young man that he is. Shaw stepping up, gets away from defenders and dives, but they're going to rule him down short of the first down. It'll be a big third down. The fans here did not like the spot. Boy, I thought he got it. I thought he had enough, but
yeah, it certainly looked like he crossed the 50, but it looked like the official felt like his knee was down, and it's where the football is when his knee is down.
Actually, we've got a monitor up here that's in delay, and it actually looked like they got it right. Watch the left knee here.
Yep.
Well, I don't know, though. There, the ball is across the 50. It's where the ball is, not the knee. So third down and a yard. Can Tennessee come up with a stop? Play clock at 3. They hand it off, and they get the first down with Miles. And he might have had a touchdown if not for Byron Moore. Tripped him up at the 36-yard line.
Wow, Daniel McCullers didn't even get blocked. Take a look. He's in the hole. Nobody blocked him, and a great move by Kenny Miles. Just too quick, and the big man couldn't get to him. Great cut by Kenny Miles. That's the thing that he brings to the equation. He's not as big as Lattimore, but laterally, he's very quick.
He'll stay in the game for first down at the 36 of Tennessee. South Carolina, more than 500 yards. That's about what Tennessee's giving up in league games per average. Miles again, and this time brought down at the point of attack. McCullers was there initially.
That time McCullers found him. and McCullers looks like he's about twice the size of Miles.
He outweighs Miles by 200 pounds. And it's rare that you have that in a football game. Some guys outweigh by 100, but rarely 200. 2nd and 9. 35-yard line is where South Carolina will operate. It's been run plays by Kenny Miles. We'll see if they let Shaw put it up, or they want to take time off the clock and keep it on the ground. Mike Davis in at tailback, the true freshman. Taking the play clock inside 5. And now Shaw to throw over the middle, caught at the 31-yard line. Rory Anderson. Lathers on the stop. Actually, it was Cunningham with the catch. So third down coming up. Third down and 4 for South Carolina.
It's a big third down. And in these situations we've seen earlier in this game, Steve Spurrier has chosen to get Connor Shaw on the outside with the 2 wide receiver route, high-low it, and then if it's not there, run. Maybe he can get a first down with his feet.
Have yet to convert. Third down and 3 to 7 yards. This is 3rd and 4. Shaw backing up, takes the snap to throw, going deep for Sanders. Incomplete. Just off his fingertips. A touch too long. And now it's 4th and 4. The ball's at the 30. Do you go for it if you're South Carolina here?
Wow, it's hard to overthrow Ace Sanders, but just off the fingertips. That ball well thrown, just missed, and now 4th down.
They're going for it here, Brian.
Spurs going to go.
Do you agree with the decision?
You know what, I do, actually. This is a long field goal, and if you miss that field goal, you give a short field to Tennessee. The odds are, go for it, you're going to convert.
They're 2 of 2 on 4th down today. It's 4th and 4. Shaw. Everybody covered. Shaw trying to create. Shaw in trouble, throws it up for grabs. It's picked off. Intercepted by Lathers. And Tennessee, now there's a penalty flag as well. A flag thrown in late. Tennessee would have taken over on an incompletion. Now, the flag came in after the play.
How about the coverage from Tennessee? Certainly the pass rush wasn't great, but after he extended that football play, there was nowhere to go with that ball. Everybody was covered. Connor Shaw had to take a chance and throw it up there on 4th down. But great job by Tennessee getting off the field defensively.
There is no foul on the play for a late hit. Ball was intercepted. Tennessee's football, 1st down.
And not sure if they were looking at a late hit on Connor Shaw or a late hit on Lathers after the interception. But no penalty flag, and Tennessee takes over. They actually lose 11 yards with the interception. Had they just knocked it down, it would have been at the 30-yard line.
They'll take it, though. Sal Sincero will take it. He got a stop on defense. Now you put the ball back in your quarterback's hands.
They were looking at the hit on Shaw, and they didn't really see it there, but it looked clean when it happened live. So 1st down for Tennessee. Down 3. Inside 5 to play. Bray stepping up, unloading complete. It's Justin Hunter again, the talented junior receiver to the 39-yard line.
That ball was thrown on a rope right on line. There was not a lot of room. Justin Hunter gets man-to-man coverage, and a great block again on Jadeveon Clowney by Antonio Richardson.
8th catch of the day rather for Hunter. 47 now on the year. 1st and 10. Bray to throw again. Offensive line giving him time, and now Bray throws it away. Good coverage by South Carolina, but Clowney, Taylor have been nowhere near Tyler Bray.
That play, Clowney got hit by the tight end, and then after he got by the tight end, Antonio Richardson gave him a little extra, knocked him on his backside. So he's getting a little bit flustered and frustrated not being able to get to the quarterback.
We asked Derek Dooley, is this the game for you? Is this it? In terms of your coaching future, he said, I can't look at it that way because what if we lose? What do I tell him next week? But certainly the players are playing for their coach right now. Playing for themselves also, of course. 2nd and 10. And it's caught by Rogers, who has 3 touchdowns today and appears to have a 1st down. 8 of 10. Rogers has been outstanding today for Tennessee.
Well, good identification of man coverage. Tyler Bray gets the ball out quick. And I would hesitate to throw it to anybody other than that guy right there, Zach Rogers. He is hot. He's catching everything. He's running good routes. I know you got Hunter and Patterson, but these guys are in rhythm, and they're moving the football.
They're going to measure here to see if he indeed got the 1st down. So if you're South Carolina, Brian, how do you handle this? You haven't been able to get Clowney or Taylor to the football. Lorenzo Ward, his 1st year calling defense as the coordinator for South Carolina. I mean, how do you get these guys where they can be in a position to get to the quarterback?
I don't think they can continue to play man-to-man coverage. They've shown that they cannot cover Rodgers, they can't cover Hunter, and they can't cover Patterson on a consistent enough basis. And they're trying to get as much pressure as they can on Tyler Bray, but they can't get there. They tried on that last play. They put Jadeveon Clowney over the center. Here he is right here. They're trying to get matchups, and they haven't found the one that's working yet. Tyler Bray sees it, gets the ball out of his hands, and his receivers are beating man coverage. If I'm Lorenzo Ward, I'm going to play zone and make him beat me from the pocket.
They had both Clowney and Taylor inside on that last play.
They're trying to change it up, trying to get him free, because right now Richardson and Juwan James are blocking.
He's inside again, Clowney. Lined up as a defensive tackle. A screen, wide open lane. Stepped out at the 45-yard line. About 4 or 5.
That was a sick move from Jadeveon Clowney. They put him over Dallas Thomas at the guard this time, and he has a spin move, but a great job in managing it by Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, and throwing a screen. Great move, Kent, but ball's gone.
2nd and 4 at the 45 of South Carolina. Tennessee down 3. 3.5 to go. Vols have all their timeouts. Tyler Bray has thrown for 4 touchdowns, 361 yards, but they'll run it here. Lane trying to push the pile, and he'll come up short. 2 or 3 on the carry, so 3rd down and short coming up for Tennessee.
And right now, Derek Dooley, if I'm talking to my quarterback and say, hey, take your time. There's no reason to rush here. May even think about getting out of the up-tempo because there's only 3 minutes left, and now they're going to put their linebacker, A.J. Johnson, in a short yardage 3rd down situation.
This worked earlier in the ball game. It has worked a lot, frankly, this year. They bring Patterson in motion, and it's Johnson all the way, and trying to spin out of a tackle. He can't. So 4th down as South Carolina comes up with a big stop on Johnson. And if you're Tennessee, you go for it.
Absolutely. Down 3. Got to go for it here, and I think I'm going to put the ball in the hands of those that are having the best game, and that's Tyler Bray and Zach Rogers. 4th down and 2. I'm not going to run the football here. You're a passing team. Give your quarterback an opportunity to convert.
So Johnson runs off to the sideline, and Bray is back as the quarterback in shotgun for 4th down and a long yard.
There's Rogers at the slot.
Bray going that way, caught for a 1st down. Zach Rogers out of bounds at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Tennessee.
That's too easy. South Carolina, you can't do this. You got a linebacker in Holloman on the best receiver for Tennessee. That's just too easy. You've got to put somebody else in there to try to guard this guy.
Inside 2 minutes to go here in the 4th.
Remember the loss of Akeem Auguste. Their nickelback is hurting them now.
Yeah, for South Carolina. Ball at the 35-yard line. Tennessee down 3. The long for their kickers this year is 38 yards, so they need another 10 to 15 yards to make it a realistic shot for Pilardi. They run the ball in a big hole. Lane inside the 20. Spun down at the 19-yard line by Swearinger. Tennessee without its star running back and Rajon Neal for the 2nd straight game. But Marlon Lane getting it done. 57 yards rushing today.
Big Dallas Thomas came around from the left guard position on that power play, just up the gut. Very well blocked by this offensive line.
Now they are in field goal range after the play. Minute 15 left. Bray stepping up. Clowney forced the fumble. It's loose. South Carolina ball. There is a penalty flag down on the near sideline. But it was Jadeveon Clowney, the All-American pass rusher, who forced the fumble. Shaq Wilson with a recovery, but let's see what the penalty is.
Well, Clowney's got his helmet off, which is a penalty.
And that may have been after the play.
Illegal motion on the offense. That penalty declined. The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by South Carolina. 1st down.
Now they may look at this as to whether the arm was going forward or if just Clowney knocked it free before the arm motion started forward.
59 minutes you've blocked Jadeveon Clowney. Antonio Richardson sleeps warm tight, and he comes around and makes a game-changing play. You cannot take a play off with Jadeveon Clowney, and give him credit. He's been blocked most of the day, but he's continued to play, and that's clearly a fumble.
But they are going to look at it further. Right now it's South Carolina ball with a 3-point lead. Tennessee not done yet. They may need Bray's heroics yet. 2 timeouts left. 2nd down and long for South Carolina. And a minute 3 on the clock. Shaw on a design run. And he doesn't get much. Maybe a yard brought down by Lathers. Tennessee will use another timeout. That'll leave the Vols with 1. 58 seconds left. 3rd down and long coming up for South Carolina's offense. Well, Brian, you certainly cannot question the talent of Jadeveon Clowney. You can't question his motor either.
No, I mean, for all game, he's been chipped, he's been slid to, he's been singled, he's been doubled, and he's had a tough game. Really hasn't been able to get the kind of pressure on Tyler Bray that they wanted to, but he continued to come. He played hard in the running game, and he continued to show the kind of effort that is really separating him. He's not just a pass rusher anymore. He's more of a complete player. And you can take a look at some of the things they've tried to do. Antonio Richardson has done admirably in protecting his quarterback. He's gotten the best of him for 59 minutes. It's just the last play right here. He got out of position, and one technique flaw on one play is really the difference in this game for Tennessee.
Now, if you're Steve Spurrier, do you throw the football on 3rd and 7?
No. Now, I'm not Steve Spurrier.
Okay.
So I don't know what he's going to do.
Put yourself in his
but
shoes.
I'm going to run the football, make them call their last timeout. That's the right thing to do.
58 seconds left. 1 timeout remaining for the Vols. They go out of the I, so they got their fullback, Gil Christini. He hadn't played a whole lot. And they are going to throw it. Shaw forced out of the pocket. And he's in trouble. Keeps his balance, but will come up short of the first down. And he stayed in bounds. Or no, he stepped out. They say he stepped out.
Wow.
So you don't burn a timeout. Here's 47 seconds left. You still got a timeout. If you're Shaw, you got to stay in.
Here's the issue. The issue is, okay, you call a pass play, that's one thing. Your quarterback has to make you right. Stay in bounds, get down. He steps out right there. You can see it very clearly. Chalk, white chalk comes up, and that's a mistake. That's a mistake. I think it's a mistake by Steve Spurrier to throw the ball, number one, and then a compounded mistake by Connor Shaw going out of bounds.
Why did Tennessee call their final timeout? He stepped out of bounds. You're inside of a minute to go.
There may have been a reaction, okay, not knowing whether he was in bounds or out of bounds, but you call that timeout and say, wait a minute, he's out of bounds. I don't want that timeout.
So South Carolina will punt. Tennessee out of timeouts, and the dangerous Cordero Patterson is deep. Will they kick it to him? Devin Young will go back as well. Tyler Hall has had 1 punt block this year.
Wait a minute, they didn't give Tennessee back the timeout.
No, they took the timeout. They wanted to take it. Good punt. Patterson in trouble. Down he goes, back at the 16. Great punt and coverage by South Carolina, and it's Miles replacing the injured Lattimore running back, who makes the play of the day on teams here. ESPN College Football available anytime, anywhere on your computer or mobile device via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app. 36 seconds left. Tennessee needs to get to around the 25-yard line of South Carolina. Michael Pilardi's long is 38. Derek Broadus, the other kicker's long is 37. Minus 8 yards on the return as South Carolina calls a timeout. I'm still curious as to Tennessee using that final timeout when Shaw was out of bounds.
I think what we're hearing is that the officials did not rule him out of bounds, and so they kept winding the clock. That's why Tennessee called the timeout. My question is, why was that not challenged then?
Absolutely.
Because you could save your timeout.
And the official stopped the clock, and obviously we can't tell if he stopped it because Shaw stepped out or if Dooley called timeout, but he's out there.
Yeah, I mean, we can see very clearly, and the white chalk comes up. Derek Dooley's right there. So there's an official that comes in. One of them was winding the clock, and it looked like one of the officials was stopping the clock.
Well, you see there.
He was winding it, and then he stops it.
And
maybe it was the timeout, though. You don't know.
It looked like Dooley. It was hard to tell if he was saying he's out or timeout, meaning Shaw's out or I want a timeout.
Either way, it's a missed opportunity because they should have challenged it.
Bray. Look out! Clowney came again. Incomplete pass.
Clowney's found a crack. Now he knows that they have to throw the football, and that is Dallas Thomas at left tackle. It's not Antonio Richardson.
32 seconds left. 2nd and 10. jump ball. Intercepted by Victor Hampton. South Carolina takes over. Hunter was the intended receiver, 6'4" against 5 feet 10 inches tall on the jump ball, and Hampton comes up with a pick.
Great effort by Hampton, just trying to get Hunter to go up and get a jump ball. Both of them had a chance at it. Great play by Hampton.
First interception of the season for Victor Hampton. Now South Carolina can take a knee and end the ball game. And Tennessee will fall to 0-5 in the SEC. Third straight year they've started that way. And South Carolina ends a 2-game skid.
Give credit to both quarterbacks who came into this game and battled, dealing with confidence issues. I thought both of them played nearly flawless. Tyler Bray, 4 touchdowns. Connor Shaw, 3 touchdowns, both over 300 yards. Very well-played game on both sides.
South Carolina, if Florida loses, still has an outside shot at winning the SEC East. But if Florida beats Georgia, the Gators wrap it up. Steve Spurrier now with Jen.